Timing 8:30.
That's right. That's right. And we are good to go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another day in the Milky Way. And we're on for our Milky Way Soul Tribe get together Christmas Eve bash. So you guys can come in and spend a little bit of time with me, say hi. I don't care. Come in for 5 minutes or stay a little longer, but we'll shuffle everybody through as they come on. And anybody in the chat room, you want to come on, let me know. If I see you in there, I'll send you a link. You gotta email me because I'll monitor my email, and then you can come on and I'll send you the link and admit you in the thing. And everybody's here. And guess what? Well, tonight we got Gaz Hawk again. Hey, how you doing? And we got Julianne Payne, our local alchemist from around the world. And we got Lucky Stone. I think this is like your first appearance on the ever show.
Yes, it's my first, I'll say virgin experience. Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely. Great to have you. This is wonderful. We're going to go from walking in the backyard in the park to actually sitting down and talking with you. Wonderful. This is awesome. I feel very privileged, believe it or not. I do.
Well, this is one of my pictures from one of my walks. So
yeah,
that's my backdrop. Yeah,
I was gonna say that is. And Julianne Payne, she's walking in her backdrop already, in her garden.
Yeah,
in Australia.
Yes.
Yeah, I just picked a fig for you.
Awesome. A fig. You can eat those. Oh, that's what a fig. I don't think I've ever had a real fig. That's cool. That is real cool.
Black turkey.
That is. Oh,
they are.
Nice.
Wow. You see that? I'll eat my lunch because it's 11:30, nearly lunchtime here in Australia. Christmas lunch here. Remember, guys? It's Christmas here.
Yeah, it's not like Christmas here where I got cold and snow. Lucky Stone, you got snow over there?
We had it. It's been, well, we still have it, but it's raining and windy right now. So it's like in the 40s right now.
Ah, yeah. How about there in England? What do you got, Kaz?
We've got it coming.
You got it coming.
Yeah.
Got it coming. I went to England. The 1 year I went there, it was pretty darn cold. And most of the time they said, nah, it's not so cold. I mean, even when I was there and they said it was so super cold, it was pretty warm. I just had a light jacket on and I was fine. And they were all like, oh, it's freezing, But that's what it is. So tell me, okay, we're going to go through the lineup here, and you guys have to tell me something about your Christmas experience. What do you do? I know I went to England, and my Christmas experience there was totally different than it was here or is here. We were putting on little crowns and opening up little presents and having rum pudding that you would start on fire and burn. Things like that. It was really cool.
Wow, cool.
I would sure like to know what do you do? What's going on?
In England?
Yes. Share some Christmas experience with us.
Well, my favorite Christmas experience was when I traveled to India and spent Christmas on the beach in Goa with seven girls, 7 sisters, and we travelled all the way across India, and we got to Goa for Christmas time.
Nice.
That was my favourite Christmas.
That is pretty cool. That is.
Yeah.
Now, did they celebrate Christmas in India or of any sign of sort or some kind of holiday?
It's a different. I can't remember what it's called, but they celebrate it on a different day.
Mm-hmm.
But it was magical. It was swimming with dolphins and yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Cool. Yeah.
That is cool. Swimming with dolphins on Christmas. Yeah. That is awesome.
And living in this straw hut on the beach.
Can't beat that.
Yeah.
Can't beat that. I'll drink to that. I hope everybody brought their favorite drink. I have green tea with a little bit of chocolate in there. Was a flavoring stuff. Pretty good. And Julianne Payne, what do they do in Australia for Christmas? Obviously, you can't pile up the snow and make a snowman there.
Most people go to the beach and have prawns.
Prawns?
Yeah, shrimp for you guys.
Oh,
Shrimp.
shrimp. Okay. Sorry about the lingo.
Well, today I'm actually home alone. I've just spent 2 days with my brand new granddaughter. So that's my gift this Christmas, was a beautiful granddaughter. My husband's gone to work to feed the patients at the hospital. So I'm home alone and it's quite peaceful. First time I've not spent lunch with any family. So this is the first year. Yeah, but I don't really celebrate Christmas anymore because I like to give all year round. I don't need a special day. I just celebrate my husband's birthday because he turned 60 today. So I haven't celebrated as such as Christmas probably since I woke up 12 years ago when I realised what the story was.
Wow. Where's it gone?
Oh, he's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. Uh-oh, it's just us running this.
Oh, well. Ho, ho, ho.
You scared him off, Jules.
Well, now we're running this show.
Well, there you go. Lucky Stone, what's your best Christmas?
Well, I grew up on a horse farm, so one of our fun things about us is that my mom would bring one of the ponies into the house and wake us up in Christmas.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I'm taking my son down there. My wife, who's Thai, she's going to go hang out with some of her friends and her friend's family. And, they're Thai, and my son and I don't speak much Thai. I speak no Thai. My son doesn't speak any Thai. So we're going to see my family at the horse farm, and that should be fun.
Yeah. Hello, Mandy.
Hi, Mandy Moo.
And, my favorite time is up in Quebec City, up in Canada. The French, they do know how to celebrate Christmas, but with the borders blocked, we can't go up there anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is the things we have to do each day, don't we? Be able to be flexible and change our mind easily because you never know what's around the corner.
You know what? That's it. Live in the now. We have to learn to accept what we have and move on from there. And, don't have to argue about the situation. Just live with what we're given with.
That's right. Live in the now.
Right. Live in the now. I mean, at work, I'm supposed to wear a mask and, 6 feet distance. And okay, whatever you want, I'll do as you please. And I have someone came down with a positive COVID test in another part of the office, and everyone was freaking out. And I'm like, there's like a 20% failure rate on these things, false positive. And everyone's upset about this and everything, but everyone's asymptomatic. So I'm like, just relax. They go, no, you don't understand. And they're going crazy about it, that this is a dangerous thing. And the facts, they say it's scientifically proven, and they start going on. And I'm like, no, it's not scientifically proven. What is proven, and I start saying it, and I realize I'm making a big mistake. I'm appearing to them as a crazy fringer. So then I was sympathetic to them, and then it was like, oh, okay, yeah, happy. But you just have to learn to deal with the situation as it's presented to you. I know what the reality is. Fine, we'll move on from there.
Yeah.
David is not here.
Where's he gone?
Oh, no, Julianne's gone. So what do we do from now?
Oh, I'm here. Can you hear me?
There you are. You're back. Now you're gone away.
Just us two. Wow.
So what's it like in England for this they've kind of ruined the holiday for all of us,
Yeah,
with this fear of it's. I mean, I'm good with the 6 feet distance, and I'm good with the shield and everything like that, but
yeah.
the pure fear, it's just too
The
much.
people in England, everyone is just walking around in fear. The whole vibe is weird. Yeah. If you go out into a supermarket, it's just the energy is it's not nice to be around.
No,
No.
it's crazy, and I am very susceptible to colds and flus. I've always been really easy to catch these silly things,
Yeah.
and honestly, I like the 6 foot distance. I like the caution, but the masks, it's just too much. It's just too
Yeah.
much,
I don't like the masks.
and it's just covering everyone's faces up. There's a
It's
middle
covering
ground
the
somewhere.
expression. Everyone's expression. You can't tell.
Ah, that's a good yes, yes, yes. You don't know what people. As
Yeah.
an empath, I can read people, but there's another thing missing, and just without deceiving the human faces, it's just it's torture. It's
Yeah.
torture now, and
It's uncomfortable.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's and you want to because they're so indoctrinated with the fear porn and everything that I think it's a porn, yeah, fear porn. You want to be sympathetic, but you don't want to encourage it too much.
Yeah.
Like the woman I work with, she's wearing a mask at home because she doesn't want to get her son sick. And kids, I mean, I'm part of the pharmaceutical industry. I've read all the research. Kids don't come down with anything. And she's like, oh, it's worse for the kids. And she's going on and on. And I'm like, where's that information? And I was challenging her, and I realized, oh no, I've now made her an enemy rather than adversary. And then I had to say, oh, I understand we the mask. You don't want to get your kids sick. We don't want to ruin their holiday. And then she get more and more nice to me. But
Yeah.
there's a middle ground. I'm trying to fight that middle ground.
I think people that will have the mask on all the time, they're going to make themselves ill because they're breathing in their own waste. The breath
Yeah,
out needs to go out.
it's twofold. It's the bacteria
Yeah.
from your mouth is getting in the mask, and you're breathing it back into
Yeah.
your lungs. Doesn't belong there. Another thing is fear. If you're holding this much fear in you, you're gonna be get yourself sick.
Absolutely.
Robert's back.
Yeah.
Yes, I held it.
You did the whole thing. Hot diggity dog. Woo. I was worried. I was like, man, I'm just watching everything, and it just goes, and the screen comes up, and with the little frown, it says, sorry. I'm like,
Honestly, for the last hour, I was terrified about doing this. And then you leave, and I'm like, okay, fine. We'll just handle this.
that's right. You became the star of the show.
That's my life. If I'm actually in something stressful, I'm the best guy in there. But when it comes to no control or something, I'm a wreck.
Don't worry, you did real good. I had you on the phone here, and I'm watching, and I'm in the chat room, and I'm typing really fast, and I'm like, sorry, computer crashed. Don't worry, it's all cool. Mandy Moo.
Hi, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Hey.
Lucky Stone, my second co-host that runs the show when my computer crashes. Right.
Now the anxiety came back. After you come back, I'm now nervous again. Great. Yeah, this is great.
That's all right. No, you did a real good job. Carried it on. I thought, oh no. And then I heard you guys go, he's gone. And then it got real quiet. And I thought, oh shoot, they're all gonna log off. Everything will be ruined. But it was great. Thank you.
It was enjoyable.
If it happens again, just stay on the line, people.
Oh, absolutely. Why not? We already did it once. You can do it again.
That you never know. It happens every once in a while. Luckily, it's always happened before while I wasn't on the air. So, that's all right. It is what it is. Hey, and I battle through these things all the time. Trust me.
It's part of the technology time we live in.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But isn't it there to make our lives more simple, and it causes us all of these stresses? So much fun. I think it's a productive form of self-harm, I think.
Mm. Yeah, I was watching this, I've been reading this book about, what's it, Buckskin Bill of Idaho or whatever. And he was like one of the last of the mountain men. He went out to Idaho and he lived out there in the wild, miles and miles from town, took, a day or two trip to get to him in some canyon in the middle of nowhere. And, he did it and he was good with it. And he says, just like you said, there's so much going on, that it's all going to fall apart sooner or later. It's just too much garbage that makes you crazy. Oh, there you are. You're back.
I'm trying to fix my background. I look like a ghost.
Oh yeah, I can do that too. See, but I got these lights, and then once the lights come on, I don't know if you got a green screen in the back, but when the lights come on, that makes all that green screen go away. Or you can take your hand, you put it up by your camera, and then pull it away, and then the camera refocuses itself, and then it fixes some of it sometimes.
I'll fix it.
I don't know if you remember some of the shows I did with the dancing head. My body was chopped off, and then my head was.
Yep.
That was, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and I fixed that. I figured it out. You got to have these lights. I got a little light, and I put it there and makes it all better. Otherwise, see, if I turn it, then everything starts going around, and then the next thing you know, my head's dancing. But
I'll just stay with this.
Oh, it was fine. Either way.
Well, at work, it's fine. I bring this computer to work sometimes. It's my own personal computer, but they gave me a real work computer. Oh, no, don't use your own computer anymore. And they gave me a work computer, but this still works better. It works great with Zoom meetings. It's what I'm used to.
Yeah. All right. Oh, guess who we got now? We got Brenda, Milky Way's mom, coming on.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. She'll be on in a second.
I'll just quickly say to you guys, Merry Christmas!
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So,
Christmas. I do my tree with crystals. Amethyst is great for the holiday season. It's a stone of sobriety and calming and clearing negative energy. So it's great. So yeah, just Merry Christmas.
Show us a close up of that Christmas tree again.
Okay.
Oh,
that's beautiful.
And I've got little lights too, but as always, they've just been out of our trees. So little crystal lantern lights I made as well.
Well, I bought in February, so that's my gemstone.
Nice.
And I have so many around my house too.
Nice. Yeah, everybody decorates their. I'm back in the day. I had a Christmas tree and I decorated. I always make a lot of my decorations. That was always good. Things like that. It was always a good time. But now I'm all kind of by myself, so it is what it is. Now, do you have family that comes over, or you tell us what you do? You have a big dinner, things like that. You get together with family and friends. What's the scoop?
No, I just do Christmas, just me. It's just another day. It really is. It's kind of like Jules's theory with the whole, I think Christmas has become very commercialized. So when I do give gifts, I've usually made them myself. I decorate and I just think that, it's become commercialized. It's more about spending time together with what matters and things like that. And definitely. So it's a time to reflect really for me, like around this time of year of where I've been in this last year and what do I want to achieve going forward and stuff. And I think that's my Christmas message for this year, is that we are in a time right now to build a new foundation for humanity, because there's a lot of shake up in the world with so many governments, and we have a chance to build a new foundation, and we have to make sure that we build those new foundations completely out of love, not out of hate, not out of anger, and just make sure all our intentions for the new year and everything we do is from a loving place of wanting to help others as well as progress ourselves. And
Nice. Yeah, and that's exactly it. We gotta focus our intentions, and then build our new year coming up with those intentions, and then that's what the new year is going to look like. But so many people, like Lucky Stone was saying, is that they how should I put it, that they're in fear, at their jobs, and they're running around scared because they're worried about getting sick or something like that. That ain't going to build up a very good new year, is it?
No, and this is the problem, is what you do with, I don't have a TV. I do not have a TV. My daughter, she's 15. She absolutely hates it because we do not have a TV in our household. But I believe that if you watch things like the news, all it's doing is telling you about all the horrible things that are going on in your country. And that's got to put you in fight or flight mode. And when we're in fight or flight mode, one, we're not breathing properly. We're not getting blood to our organs like we should be, because we're ready to run. And you're also in a state of constant fear, which lowers that vibrational frequency of the collective and then makes them easier to control. So yeah, we need to drop fears and things like that. And just, unfortunately, there are a lot of people losing their jobs, but there are ways that you can turn your creative energies. So I have turned my passion for crystals into, I have a little crystal business. I find other people, like, everyone has their skill, and you find your skill. If you lose your job, try and find your skill and make it a way to be productive and make income for yourself and your family. If you're given the opportunity to, I guess, to renew, rather than seeing it from a place of fear, yes, definitely come from a place of love and see it as a new beginning rather than a losing something.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I know exactly what you're talking about, because I used to have a riding stable back in the day, and I used to take out trail rides, and break horses and trim horses and do horse stuff. I was Rodeo Bob, believe it or not, and now and I had so much fun. But I had maybe no money, but I had a lot of fun, and I enjoyed my life, and I just loved it. People would show up at the house, and they were like, "I'm hanging out with you today because you're a lot of fun," and I'm like, "It doesn't seem like I'm having that much fun, does it?" But by the end of the day, it was great. I'm working, I'm baling hay, and trimming horses. It was a lot of work, but I miss those days. Those were the best days of my life, really. And
you said that you were more broke back then. And they were some of the best times of your life. And that's because you had to use your creativity to come up with ways to have fun because you're broke. So definitely I find that too at times when I'm more financially stringent than others, is I'm more creative and I have a lot more fun and things like that. When you're happy and freely being yourself, you draw people to you that are seeking that within themselves.
Yeah. So it's all about, like you said, making and then your life gets better as when you started doing things for yourself. Didn't that made you so much happier, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It is a struggle sometimes, because I'm like, I'm going to do things for myself, and decided to drive approximately 5,000 miles across the country, which I'd never done before, and caused me a headache. But now that I've done that, you're proud of that. But yes, sometimes it does cause me stress, or I panic, or know, how am I going to get this done? But somehow I pull through. So now I'm just throw it to the universe, and I just put the intention out there. If I'm meant to do it, just please assist me within doing it, and I seem to get it done.
Nice. And that's all that matters. That's true. You get it done, do what you got to do. Now, Lucky Stone, you work at a job just like I do. You go to work every day, and well, you must work in an office, because you're talking about wearing a mask.
I work in a pharmaceutical company, and I work in an office area where I'm looking over documentation and I'm looking over research, and my job is just to make sure the equipment passes all the requirements in order to be put on the in the manufacturing area. I originally was in manufacturing. I moved up, and so I work in the office area, and people think they know more than they do. And I go to the meetings, which I'm not required to go to, with doctors and everything. And the doctors are saying about their research. They talk about their research with each other, and everyone's allowed to go.
Yeah.
And I hear between the lines, and some of the stuff they're saying is, oh, some of the weird results are here, and there, and there. And it's interesting what they're finding and what they're doing. But science is about learning. It's about moving forward. It's about taking what you used to know, putting it on the side, and moving forward from there. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, science is solid. It's bedrock. It's cement." No, science is not. Science is always evolving. That's what evolution is.
That's absolutely it. But the big question is, do you like Mandy's saying? She started the crystal thing and the business, and that gives her joy in her life, and then she's incorporated it in her life like her Christmas tree with the crystals hanging on. Now, do is that very is that interesting to you? Is that give you that, or do you have a side thing that you do for
Oh no. Honestly, I am like the Pisces. Two fish are fighting in two different directions.
Yep.
There's my logical, scientific self.
Yep.
Then there's my psychic, ephemeral self. So I can see spirits. I can talk to spirits. Drive my wife crazy. I with 3 of them with me today at the. My wife is Thai, so she's used to this kind of thing. Crazy people. That's how we got to talk to each other, because I can see things that aren't there, and she's like, "Oh, I wish I could see them." And I'm like, "You understand? They're arguing with each other." And I had 2 spirits with me who hang out with me all the time, and they're arguing over stuff that goes on, and she's like, "Well, how do you deal with it?" I'm like, "Well, how do you deal with most interactions with people? You're in an office building, and people are arguing. With me, it's just these 2 guys that hang out with me, and they give me so much insight because they can see things that I don't see. And maybe you can even say it's maybe I am crazy, and these are just aspects of my own personality that I express out, but." I mean, these aspects of my personality that are reading situations, they're always spot on. So I'm going to keep going with it, And I keep my scientific self, look at research, look at everything, cut and dry, like numbers, Science can be like math. All the facts are there. You do 1 + 1 = 2, and sometimes it doesn't equal 2, and you go on from there. And then the spirits I deal with, it's fine. It's just all part of life. I mean, when I'm walking in the woods, some of the stuff I run into, it's fine. It's just. I've run into so many things where I've learned so much by just accepting the situation as it is. Someone said that demons don't exist. Well, they don't exist, and they do exist, because demons are things that we create and we empower. And the strongest demons are those that we give. They feed off fear. So if a demon is created by God or anything, or created by humans, they feed off fear no matter what, and they become stronger and worse as we feed them. And then if I run into a demon who's trying to scare me, and I'm like, "Hey, you're not going to scare me. It's fine," they leave me alone.
Nice. Yeah.
My biggest fear was the shadow people. I was terrified of shadow people because I could see them. And once one of the spirit guys came to me and said, "You know that they have no power over you if you don't have any fear. And actually, you send a shadow being love. You send it love. I love you. I want to care for you. How can I help you?" It just sends them away. And that was one thing I learned a long time ago. And it's like really freed my life up with so much. Less fear.
Yep. Nice. Well, that's good. Who do we got here? I think I got somebody on the phone. Is that Giant?
Giant. How's it going?
Yeah. It doesn't light up on the screen. It just says a phone number. So.
Merry Christmas.
Well, thank you. Merry Christmas to you too.
It's already Christmas. You know that, right?
Yeah. And somewhere around the world, in Australia, It's already Christmas.
No, right now it's already Christmas.
Oh well, okay. Well, how do you figure
that? As soon as it gets dark the day before, it's Christmas. That's why people open up gifts on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
They think it's still Christmas Eve, but actually, officially, if you go back in time, as soon as it turns dark of whatever day it is, that's the next day.
Well, that makes sense.
So we're in Christmas. We're in Christmas right now. Yeah.
And we are in Christmas. I cannot argue with that. That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Well, thanks for
Good.
coming. Thanks for coming. This is great. I spend most of my time here, alone and for I don't know how many years I've been out here in North Dakota, and every year is Christmas comes and Christmas goes, and you're just alone. So, thank you for stopping in and saying hi and spreading that little bit of wisdom. How do you spend your Christmases usually? Do you have family and friends? We heard from Julianne Payne, who's eating figs and going eating prawn on the beach, and Mandy Moo's got a Christmas tree with crystals on it and celebrates with her family, and Lucky Stone, who's celebrating Christmas. Now, how's your Christmas going?
It's going well. I got family over. I'm a Christmas baby, so I don't like. I don't really, in my childhood, I didn't enjoy the time because I never got presents for my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Christmas to me is an interesting, duality as far as my feelings on it. But I think it's a time to celebrate, community and family and being with each other. I don't like the whole feeling obligated to buy each other presents and stuff like that. I think just being in each other's presence is the present, right? Loving each other. So
Yeah.
that's the part I enjoy. It's a great time to realize that we're all dependent on each other and we need to come together, right? And that's the theme of the time period is, when you're at your lowest, when it's the coldest or whatever, at least for the Northern Hemisphere, we have to come together as a community and make sure everybody's fed and everybody has what they need. The people that, crops may have failed for them or whatever in the past, that, someone else in the community was there to provide, right? And that's what Saint Nick and all these characters that have been embedded into this time period were trying to impart, right? They're trying to bring that to the community to show that we all need to stand up for each other. So I love that part of the history. Obviously, everybody knows there's a huge portion that has been taken over and commercialized, and everybody's got to buy gifts for each other and everything. And that's not what is meant, but that's the same thing that these controllers try to do with every holiday.
Gifts are meant for birthdays, hey, not Christmas. Can I ask, is your birthday actually on Christmas Day?
My birthday is on the real Christmas day, and that's the 12th day of Christmas. That's the thing people don't know, is that real Christmas is actually the 12th day, and it's now considered Little Christmas, Three Kings Day, the Epiphany. So look up the Epiphany Day or Three Kings Day.
Is that today?
It's the 12th day of Christmas, and there's a 12-day change from the Gregorian calendar into our calendar now, and that's because there was a procession, or as we go through the cycles, there's basically a procession, but there's a little deviation. It's actually 365 and a quarter days, and then after 4 years we have to have the leap year, and because they weren't tracking that for a while, it got off by 12 days, and then they sent it back. Some people say 15, but it was actually technically 12 days, and they sent it back. So there's that's why the 12 days of Christmas is a thing. Most people don't know about the 12 days of Christmas or understand what it's about.
No,
but that's because
I will look it up.
Yeah, so it's the 12th day of Christmas, and this is when the three kings found Jesus. This is why it's important. They found him on the 12th day. They didn't find him on the day he was born. They found him on the 12th day. So I argue that he actually wasn't born until that actual time, and the Star of Bethlehem lined up with his birthday. They found him actually on his true birthday. There's a lot of confusion there, but yeah, a lot of things that he did. The Epiphany is the sudden appearance. The sudden appearance of God is what Epiphany means etymologically. So that sudden appearance happens, and different things that Jesus did when he came back from being missing for a long period of time, and he came back as an adult. That was on the Epiphany also. When he changed water to wine, that was considered on the Epiphany. Even though people will place it at a different date, they'll gather it all into that time, and it's celebrated on the Epiphany.
That's really interesting. Thank you. I'm going to look into that more. I'm quite interested by things like that, the actual true nature behind things. But the only reason I just asked about your birthday is I'm a 30th of December baby myself, and I don't like Christmas for the same reason, because here's your birthday and Christmas present. So
yeah, I never, it's not that I never got Christmas presents. It's just that no one really had money. I didn't grow up with a lot of money in my family or anything like that. So no one really had money at the time when my birthday came to give me my birthday present. So mostly on Christmas, they would make it all one present. And during my birthday, they, most of my family and stuff like that just didn't have the money at that time. So my birthday was always kind of, it was just a weird thing. So there's always been this complication within my heart, like, trying to figure out, like, why is it that people are, putting so much emphasis on just having to buy all this, tons of stuff, and it's just very wasteful, and I think everybody has that feeling that it's a very wasteful time, and that's not what the true essence of it. That's not what they're trying to teach us in the movies. That's not what the history really says, right? It's a time of being, coming into reconciliation and recovery for the people that need it. And it's not a time to go and a bunch of rich people buying people that are already, rich because it's their family and stuff, a bunch of lavish gifts, right? And you see that actually in the movies too. That's the thing that they're bringing up, is that, you have to realize that this isn't something for the rich. This is something for the poor, and this gets into the biblical stories going back to even Boaz and all these things where, anything extra that was off of your fields and stuff that you couldn't pick and you couldn't harvest, you had to let the poor come and grab all that stuff, right? There is no, you can't do things like usury. You can't let people borrow stuff at an interest, that you somehow make money off them. Because this is stuff that's provided by God. And if you're able to manage certain things, and there's people, your neighbors and stuff like that, that are crippled, or, somehow, a pestilence or whatever may have hit them, a family member died and they couldn't gather as much, and then they will probably starve through winter, that your duty to God is to provide for them, right? And there's a balancing of books. So you actually look at all the 12 days of Christmas, most of them are actually an individual holiday. There's Boxing Day. There's all these different things that come up, and even New Year's was the reason they celebrate New Year's, was it's a new financial and harvest year. You have to give up and equal out the balance the books, is what it really was. Is that if anybody owed you anything, you had to knock off that debt at that point. You couldn't collect anymore on that debt. It wasn't allowed. And it wasn't until a certain time that they, after generations of people, they take away these older traditions and these rules that are implemented by God, as a part of the commands, a part of the way that the community govern themselves. And we've lost that, and now we're so far away from that it's almost completely gone. And I'm sure all this stuff, maybe a few of you know this, but most of you probably don't. And most of the world doesn't understand what this whole time period is. And there's tons of these. They're actually quarterly that the Jews followed, that they would do these what were considered new phases. And so some people confuse them for New Year's, but technically this one is the most important one, because you come down to the very end of what the harvest is. And this is where you have to make sure that you allow those people to write off their debts, cancel their debts, and you start giving to everybody and making sure that there's a balance and evenness with all the food and everything. So everybody's provided for to make it into the next season, to make it through winter. So that's why it became the New Year. That's why it's considered the type of New Year that it is. Although you can put a New Year at any cardinal sign. You can place it there, and that's where there's a lot of confusion with those New Years.
Yep. Absolutely. I read, and that's kind of why they, at the end of the fiscal year here, do you notice they always have the big layoffs? Like these big companies, they will lay tons of people off, and you think, how can they do that like weeks before Christmas? 30,000 people, gone here and 20,000 people there, and just like you're talking about, they have to pay those debts off and things before the, is that like, like Black Friday is Black Friday because they sell all their inventory to make the red go away. Is that, same object? Yeah.
Yep. There was things that were more tied into agricultural stuff in our past. And, a lot of the manipulation that ended up being implemented and going against really the truth behind these more ancient ways of handling society ended up getting pushed into other dates and stuff like that. But, technically on the cardinal signs, they had different, a change in how they handled, our finances, fiscal New Year's and different things like that. But this one was an important one to balance debts, right? And so if you follow like New Year's songs and stuff like that, you'll see that they're speaking of that. You just pay attention to older traditional songs and ways of handling things, and some of these holidays that are more obscure that are embedded in these days, and what just happened with Trump and them trying to pass all these bills and everything, right? And why they put certain people into position during January 5th, January 6th, right? Why school starts again at January 5th, January 6th. All these things are embedded in older ancient traditions that have to do with certain time periods, certain things need to happen financially, because finances weren't even it wasn't a money thing. It was an agricultural thing. And like I said, you couldn't do, that was against God's rules to have anything like usury, to make money off of someone by letting them borrow something. If you had anything extra, you have to give it to them. That's not yours. God gave us all something. Anything that was lawfully allowed by God that could be argued was anything that you could manage. If you can't manage beyond that, that's why there's homesteading and all that. People can just take land. They can take a part of your land still to this day. If you do the right things, you can take a piece of someone's land if they're not managing it. And the proof is if you're sitting there managing the piece of land, let's say they have 600 acres, and you go take a 5-acre piece at the corner of their land and they're just not managing or anything, and you've been managing it for a certain amount of years, you have rights to that land now because they weren't managing it.
Wow.
And the reason is because, the reason is because you really don't have any ownership. This is another thing, is that the Native Americans believe in no ownership. Well, actually we do too. It's just we get trickery in the way that things are titled, right? So I've worked in real estate for a long time, construction and real estate. You just are basically titled to something for a period of time that you can pay all the taxes and you can manage it. And once you die, you can pass it on to your children and stuff like that, or pass it on to someone else. But it's still not truly owned, because you have to keep it up and you have to pay taxes and you have to make sure that you're maintaining that property. Other than that, it's basically owned by a higher power, which it's a stepping stone, and the real means royalty. So the royalty really own it, and they're holding it for God. And then you can go all the way up to the vicar of Christ, which is the Pope, and he is acting as the Christ on earth. So they're saying really the Pope owns it all, and then it passes down to the emperor, and then it passes down to the kings and queens, and then they pass down that title to the individuals within the kingdom, and they all get to manage little sections and stuff like that. So there really isn't what we think as ownership. There's just title over something and control over something while you can manage it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree, and that seems logical. I mean, a lot of those things that were put into the Bible stuff or the God stuff that was put down were all literally common sense. A lot of it was, anyway, to a point. To a point. I think there was things in there that got interjected to prop up the religion or the churches or the kings or things like that too.
They wanted power.
Yeah, do you agree on that? I mean, it's a job to sort through it to figure that out, but there's some things in there that just say, why would you do this? And other things are like, yeah, that just seems common sense if you got too much to manage, you should give some of that away because you're really not managing it now. You're being a glutton. Yes,
and this is why there's an argument against capitalism, is because you're trying to manage way over the amount of resources that God would ever intend. And I definitely don't follow the Pope, and I don't believe that the Pope is the vicar of Christ at all. And I'm not arguing for religion at all. I think there's some factual information that's in the history of the Jews and in the New Testament. There's some good information about Christ and stuff like that, but I definitely don't agree with the Catholic Church, and I don't believe that the Pope should be considered Christ on earth until he returns. There's a lot of reasons. I don't want to get into the details, but I just wanted to clarify that I'm not arguing for their way of doing it, but there's good individuals that were in the Catholic Church, and there's good individuals throughout history and all the different religions and all the different groups that were arguing. They were the Greeks and everything. They were arguing out laws, and we have a legal system now. And I think a lot of people understand this that are in the chat and all this stuff are part of the tribe. The legal system is trying to make rules under the laws. A law is a fact no matter where you go. That's what it makes it a law, right? It would be the same. It's the same rule, and these are rules that are argued that God would give us all in every place. And then the legalities are these little rules for the communities that you're in. You're saying, look, we're going to commune together. We're going to work things out together. And this is how we want to make certain rules. Like the speeding limit will be 65 down our freeways and 55 down our highways and 45 down this street. And then 30, you see what I'm saying? But those are things that are just so the community can kind of get along, and you can structure the flow of traffic and stuff like that. But they're not something that actually we can argue that God gave us as rules. And the ones that we can argue that God gave us as rules are rights or law, right? They're fact. Yeah. Everybody can have it equally.
They were like a general common rule, like you said. You don't steal. That's goes around worldwide. You just don't want to steal from somebody if you haven't earned that. But nowadays, they make up like in California. I mean, I read about some of this stuff where, it's okay if, you smoke pot in your house, but you can't smoke in your house. What? That's that's ridiculous. There's, you got so many conflicting little rules in there that it makes the general population nuts. Right.
And this is the important thing that everybody needs to consider is you don't have any rights unless you can defend those rights. Right. And that was a contract. Technically, that was structured as a contract. The Constitution was a contract of the people that signed it. That's why they signed it, right? If you understand legality and contracts, the reason that they signed the document was, there was two reasons. The main reason is that they were showing the British, they were saying, look, this is what we think. This is what we're putting down in the Declaration, more than the Bill of Rights. But we're declaring that we have the right to defend ourselves and that we are sovereign, and that you guys are overreaching your bounds of what we feel are lawful things for humans to interact, and you're trying to tax us without representation, all these different things. So we're going to stand up to you and say, we're our own sovereign beings, and if you try to come after us, we're going to defend that with our life. And then, wrote down the Bill of Rights, like showing humanity, because that's the second part, is they wanted to embed that document into history so that eventually down the line, humanity would be able to go back and look at that document and say, hey, this is what this is saying. This is something that humans have been arguing over and documenting for a long period of time. And these are just some of them. That's what they say. They say this is unalienable. This means this is something that you can't put a lien on. You can't change these things, right? And they're self-evident that you will see when you look at these things that it's not just the ones that we're writing down. It's anything that actually is in that same gauge of understanding, that you can apply it to every single person equally, and it doesn't interfere with the other person, right? I don't have the right to kill you. You don't have the right to kill me. If you go and try to kill me, then now you're violating a God-given right. Now anybody can kill you. That's really what it comes down to. Like, you can't interfere with my travel. If I'm traveling from one place to another, you can't interfere with that, and I can't interfere with you traveling. All of those things, everything written down in the Bill of Rights, everything that's considered a law, would never interfere with anybody else by you having those rights. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Wasn't it Thomas Jefferson, I think, that quoted something like, here you can do whatever you want or say whatever you want to me, as long as it doesn't hurt me or break my bones or pick my pockets.
As long as it doesn't interfere. As long as it doesn't interfere with anybody else's rights. You can say whatever it is, as long as there's no loss, injury, or damage that can be argued, right?
Yep. Yes.
If you're causing someone to lose something, you're causing them to have some sort of injury, or there's some sort of damage to their life and their pursuit of life, liberty, and freedom and all this stuff, and being able to travel, all the rights. If somehow you interfere with those, now you've done a crime. You've basically violated someone else's rights, and therefore you don't deserve rights yourself, because you're in a violation of what anybody can argue, what God gave us all, right? And so therefore, if we're all God, you've interfered with God. And if you're interfering with God, then God doesn't back you anymore, and there's justification for the rest of the group, anybody in the group, to make sure that you either are put in prison or something, that you're kept away from harming the pursuit of other people. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. We read that book, I Am, I Create, whatever. It's and that's what it really kept saying, is God really don't care as long as you keep creating. And because you're creating through him, making new stuff, right? And it's interesting to him because he's, but the problem is if you do something to stop creating, or interfering with somebody else's creation, that stops the whole process.
Yeah, exactly.
In some crazy way.
That's a good way of putting it. No, that's a great way of putting it. That's what God is doing. Is God is creating and experiencing, and if you're going to interfere with that, then somehow you're there's something wrong with you to want to do that. You see what I'm saying? And so that's actually a sickness of some sort or whatever. And humans need to protect themselves from having to deal with something that's going to interfere with them being happy and creating and experiencing in this world, because they're a representation of God here, like we all are. But that person isn't, because now they're stealing from the creation, right?
Yeah,
so I like how you put that.
Yeah. Because if we're all God, and we're all here to create, and somebody stops somebody else, well, that's just messing up the whole project. And we need to.
So now you're in violation of God, and that was the argument. So this is why laws and rights are all, they're just established, but all of us have to stick up for each other. You see what I'm saying? We all have to make sure that no one is getting walked on, no one's rights. And that's the thing is if we don't all stand up for each other and we don't make sure that things are equal and even and balanced and fair for everyone, then we're not actually serving God. We're not doing the duty of what God wants, and God is us. So we're actually in violation of ourselves, we're in violation of everybody else, and we're in violation of God. And that's when things get out of whack. And that's kind of what, getting back to the Christmas spirit, is it's saying you got to balance everything. You have to give to the ones that somehow may have had unfortunate circumstances, that a crop didn't come in or this or that. You have to look out for the poorer ones, and you have to make sure that they're stabilized and they have a roof over their head and food on their table and all this stuff. And that's what the giving was about. The giving wasn't for the ones that have everything and keep taking more just to give more to themselves. And that's where we've gotten, and that's what everybody's disenchantment with Christmas is. And then the forgetting of Santa Claus or Saint Nick, right? And what he was trying to establish, right? And I know it's kind of convoluted who Santa Claus is, and Saint Nick isn't really the only characteristics that are embedded into our modern day Santa Claus. But Saint Nick himself, if you want to use just that character to kind of define Santa Claus, was showing that. He was like, there was these poorer families and stuff, and he was dropping gold down their chimney so that they would have something to make it through the winter. He felt bad for his fellow man because he realized that's him, that's himself, that's God, right? And he's God. And why would we want these people to suffer? So that is what I believe is the true essence behind Christmas, and not all this wasteful, elite satanic embedded crap that has been mixed in there over time. It looks like Robert got kicked off. Oh man.
Yep. Robert got kicked off.
Sorry, Robert. I was having a problem even getting on here in the first place. That's why I have to go by phone, man. Who's all in here?
Well, you got Lucky Stone and you're
Steve Stone.
fascinating.
Oh, Lucky Stone. How's it going, brother?
Oh, what you're saying is fascinating, because I do know some of these stories, and really brings it back, because sometimes you learn these things years ago and you forget about them. You forget about them, and then you bring it up again. I'm like, wow, I remember this, and why did I ever forget this information?
They want us to forget it. They want us to forget what Christmas is really about, and they want to satanize everything. Because the thing is this is a duality, and there is an opposition to the way to celebrate every religion. And more recently, at least in the last 20 years, if not 30 years, they've been slowly trying to embed and make us understand the negative side, the dualistic side of it, right? And because what's in charge of this world now that we need to get rid of, we're going into this time period of reawakening and battling off these negative characteristics, whether you think it's internal or external. I don't really want to argue with what that is, because there is an internal component and there's an external component to all of this stuff. Personally, in myself, I've already battled my internal components, and I realize that, we have to care about our family. We have to care about our friends. We have to care about our community. And I've done that work. I work with my friends. I've worked with my family. I show the love. I block out negative, emotions and stuff like that might get me to react in negative ways to people that are actually good. And I save those emotions and those negative reactions for what I feel is a true enemy within the physical realm, because we're going to have them inside emotionally. We're going to have them in our mental realm, but we have them on the outside, because what is above is below. What is within is without. But it's not that you can only battle it within. You got to correct yourself before you can actually, and make yourself a pure being so that you can defend yourself from attacks that are etherical or more, on the spiritual level. But also you're going to have to take up arms, and you're going to have to fight in the physical realm. And you don't really even have to physically fight them if you can outthink them. Right? If you can stand up and show your power, because we do have the power in numbers, and we can do it, but there's going to be a lot of communication that's needed. There's a lot of elements that are needed. Humanity needs to come together and start communicating on a higher level, and then standing up with each other against these things, and realizing that, what you do for all is you're doing for yourself. You can be the most selfish person actually does for everybody. Because that's the only way you're going to get better and better things in this world, and get a better world, is if everybody stands up with you. You can't do it alone, So just working on things alone is only the first step. The next step is we gotta start facing some of these things that are on the outside, So I feel like I'll hold back from saying, too many of the details that I believe is happening in the physical. I think a lot of people kind of know. They know a lot of the things that are going on out there, but there's contention there, and there's a little bit of difference in belief with a lot of people. But my personal belief is that there's physical things that are happening on this earth, and we're gonna face those things in a physical way. And there's going to be a lot of strength and a lot of realizing that, you can't fear. There is no death. You'll never die because you're God, right? The only thing that's going to die is the physical. You might as well do everything you can while you're in the physical to make sure that you have a better place to come back to when you have the new life, when you have a new physical life in this world. So don't go quietly into the dark,
Well, exactly.
Wasn't that a poem by Bukowski?
What's that?
Wasn't that a poem by Bukowski?
Just to not go quietly into the dark?
Into the night, yeah.
Yeah, I believe so. I don't know exactly, I know that that's a quote. I don't know who it came from, right? But to me, what it means is that we can't just live this life and think that it's just all for our personal self and that there's nothing else out there. We're all participants in making this place a better place and working towards a utopian ideal. There will always be death, no matter what, right? There's, what is it? In Arcadia ego, right? And it says, even in the utopia, there is death. So don't fear that. Don't worry about that, but you can perfect things here on earth. And all the Gnostic belief goes all the way back to the Zoroastrians, and they're all speaking of building, that the whole purpose of existence is building the physical world towards a utopian idea.
Don't you think if everything was utopian, it would be all repetition in vain? That's a misconception of what a utopia is, because I just said that the utopia is actually, there's death there, right? No matter what, there's going to be a death. Thought there was no death.
So, no, there's death in this world for sure. That's the dualistic part of this world. There's always a beginning and an ending, right?
Well, in this physical world you're talking about.
Yeah, in the physical world, but yes, in the spiritual, there is no death, and that's why there's no fear. You see what I'm saying? So you got to put that in perspective. That don't worry about not coming back here and not experiencing this place anymore, and trying to hold on to your one, this moment that you're aware of in the physicality. You will be able to come back here if you want. You have the ability to not or do or whatever, but you don't remember why it is that you came here. So I think it's best to believe that you came here for a reason, right? And why would you just come here just to find a way back to where you came from, right?
Well, that's true. Now, speaking of that, I got a question. Since Lucky, you said that you hear spirits, correct?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
There's one right here. Yes.
Okay. Now I have a buddy who says, well, if people could talk to spirits, well, then maybe you should just ask them what's on the other side. Why don't they know? Why ain't they coming back? Why don't they talk to us? Why don't they do? Have they told you any of this? He says, spirit, we talk all the time. People just never shut up. Well, if they're in the spiritual realm, do they just shut up too? Or do they talk all the time?
They talk all the time. They're everywhere. My wife asked me, are there any spirits at the grocery store? And they're all over the grocery store. But you have to be open to them. You have to, I mean, there are spirits absolutely everywhere. But it's like the ocean. There's multiple levels. And then you have to be open to actually accepting that they're actually there and being willing to listen. I mean, you can walk through the city and there'd be all this talking and you'll never hear a single person because you're not in tune to listening.
Did you ever get labeled as schizophrenic for hearing spirits?
Oh,
because I think that may be the underlying cause for schizophrenia.
Schizophrenia is when they're negative. When they talk negative and you do negative things.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yes, someone who's talking to me, I got talked to by a priest because. And the spirit that hang around with me told me things that the priest didn't want known. And I said, well, and I said those things and he turned white. This was a guy who was sunburned during the summer. He turned white. I never actually understood the term white. When he said to me, all right, let me get your parents, because he didn't want to be in the room with me because he didn't know what else I was going to say because I didn't know what I was saying because the spirit was telling me everything. And then he had me say, the priest said, he can't talk to this thing anymore. It's a demon, blah, blah, blah. And my parents forbade me from talking to this guy. And it took me almost 20 years before I actually accepted that, wait, this is okay. I mean, I've been seeing spirits, I mean, from it was at 5 years old until about 20-ish.
Does it happen more when you're going to sleep, right before you go to bed?
No, because I established rules a long time ago.
Oh, because my kid experiences that. He hears voices or chatter.
Yeah. You have to establish rules. You'd say these, okay, I will listen to you, but on my terms, not on yours. You have to tell them, I will listen to you at any time, but there are times when I need to be left alone, and they will follow it because they want someone to listen to them. I treat everything like a toddler, where toddlers want attention, negative, positive. They don't understand that. In spirits, if they can get that attention, they will follow your rules. But you have to learn also that you have this ability that you can control it, because that's the one thing that they don't tell you is you can control everything in your life. They want the other people in your life, the other higher ups will tell you, you can't control these. We control them. Priests, they'll tell you, I talk to God for you, and that kind of thing. And I believe that. I mean, I was a Catholic. I was confirmed. I did everything, all the rules, until one day when I remember when I was a little child, I saw the fire of the Holy Spirit in the church, and I saw it sitting on a broken stained glass window. To this day, I can remember that. And no one else would confirm that. And then when they said, when you confirm, the fire of the Holy Spirit will come down upon you all. And I waited in confirmation. I was confirmed and everything. And I never saw the fire of the Holy Spirit. And I'm like, but I saw it as a child. And that's when it started ticking in my head that, wait a second, these people are manipulating us. It took me a while afterwards. But yeah, you have control of your life. You have complete control of your life. But the one thing you have to do is take control.
Absolutely. I want to stop there for a second and welcome Jules. Jules, thanks for coming. Before we're really in this conversation going on, I'm enthralled. I love hearing what Lucky's got to say about this because it fascinates me. But welcome. Yeah, Merry Christmas to you.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy solstice.
Yes. It's a new beginning for whatever we manifest to become the next new year, as we've already discussed. So what is in your Christmas and what is in your new year?
I just am taking it one day at a time. I have kids, and so there's nothing that is very, I mean, everything's always kind of chaos, but like, to me, it's like fun. It's like, it's never boring. So you kind of ride the wave and you just, take it as an adventure, and these new energies too. And the last week have been just absolutely nuts, but I gotta shake it up to wake it up, hopefully, and good things to come.
Yes, absolutely. And little did I say about Steve. Steve, you've been so patiently sitting there too. Now, Jules, where are you at located? Snowy area, cold air, warm?
Yeah, we just got a lot of snow in Minnesota.
Oh, you're in Minnesota
by
too?
Me.
Yeah.
Where do you live in Minnesota?
I'm near the Twin Cities, just
So
outside the Twin Cities. I'm in Egan, so very close.
I was just calling there last night at the Walmart up there off of Pilot Knob.
Yeah. Yep. We're like 20 minutes from each other.
Small world.
That's awesome.
See, we're one big family, only
freezing
minutes away from each other. Don't even know it.
We needed a reminder to that we're in Minnesota. We've been so spoiled.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't had much.
Degrees,
yeah, we haven't had much snow or cold this year, and but it's nice because you have a lot of people who have more time because they might be at home more. So you see more people like putting up Christmas lights and around. So I think it kind of helps kind of break up that static that kind of was created with the quarantine stuff, and kind of get people out of that funk a little bit to kind of get that Christmas magic going. So I think it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
For Christmas, I want to just tell everybody, the COVID thing. Ivermectin.
Yeah.
Ivermectin.
Yeah. Have you watched some of those videos?
Oh my God, dude. I can't believe it. It's incredible.
Yeah. I already got my supply.
It's incredible.
I know. If you haven't heard about it, check it out. We're not doctors, but
right. We're not doctors, not telling you. Just look into it.
Do look into it. And if you don't know what ivermectin is, it's dewormer.
It's an anti-parasite for horses.
Yes. It's
the truth.
Yes.
The top scientist just did it wasn't just, it was December 8th. He went on there and said, I can't do it no longer. I have to tell everybody. And he put everything on the line and he started crying and he said, this is the truth, and set it forth. And I totally take his testimony 100%. He did it in front of the Senate Judiciary or the Senate Committee on COVID, the panel that they have.
Now the question is why ain't they telling the rest of us about this stuff? Because of the fact that, hey, it doesn't going to make anybody any money. It's all about the money. Yeah. Well, they were saying about that one vaccine, the one company with the one vaccine is going to make $32 billion off of it. That's one company.
Yeah. But yet they don't say nothing about vitamin D or nope. Vitamin D. Think about it. When does the flu come around? When the sun goes away.
Yes, absolutely.
I have seen more things about vitamin D come up. And I was kind of surprised because I have seen doctors talking about it. And then I've seen a couple studies that have been done more recently popping up. I don't see it too often, but I know just like on social media, people are starting to talk about that and just spreading it by word of mouth more than anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When it should be the doctors saying, hey, take some vitamin C and some vitamin D and things like that, whatever they subscribe or tell people, do your research, people. We're not doctors. I'm just saying people take this stuff. I mean, it's a, how should I put this? I don't know how to put this. You need it to live.
Vitamin D, yes.
Yes, you have to have it or you will die. Yes. I'm not a doctor, but I know if you don't get vitamin D if you don't get iodine or those things, you will die. That is a fact. You need those things in your body to survive, right?
Yep, ivermectin, by the way, can be bought in Fleet Farm, any veterinarian store that sells equine or supplements for horses.
Yeah, and it's like $10, under $10 a tube.
Yes.
Now the funny part is they won't tell you that. Now I don't know what kind of doses or what. You have to look that up and figure that out. I don't know. I mean, who's going to be taking it or whatever. But it is one of those things that somebody should be looking into this. Why ain't the people in charge that these doctors saying, hey, this is the cure all? We have the cure. It wasn't that guy. I do want to. Did you see that that one guy who this was a few years back, who had cancer, and he took that and cured his cancer too?
I heard about that too. Yes. It's just amazing how it's right there in front. It's like everything else. It's right there in front of our face, but it's behind something, behind a shadow, and it's there. And lo and behold, there are people in the know, as usual. But it's the money that, if I ain't selling it, ain't nobody buying it.
That's right. Now, if they would take that and they would put a price tag of like $3,000 on it and put it in a little capsule form, they would advertise the crap out of it and say it's a miracle cure for everything.
I agree. But yeah, I just thought, for Christmas, I'd give everybody that little present. I'm not much in the way of that whole rabbit hole thing, but this something is pretty huge. Yeah. I showed my family, I just came back from Christmas Eve with my family, showed it to them. Mm-hmm. What were they doing? Looking at their phone, not paying attention to what I was telling them.
Yeah, that's the whole world out there. You just described half the world, except for us, because our group is.
I'm doing it right now too.
We're awakened. We are awake, and we are looking. We are studying. We're knowledgeable. Giant, you're really knowledgeable. You seem to know a lot about stuff. Where do you get your information from? A lot of times.
I've been studying for 25 years or something like that, since I was a young kid.
Yeah.
I come from the Silicon Valley, so I always had a computer. I was on the internet searching, looking for things, diving into information, buying a ton of books. I was at a certain point, once I was in my teens, my mom had worked her way up in the tech industry, so I had enough money to have my own home personal computer, internet, and money to buy books. So I decided at a certain point I was either gonna end up in prison for the rest of my life, or I figure out what's going on with this world.
Nice.
Yeah, I was just angry at how the world was, so I had to either figure out how to fix it, or don't want to be in it anymore. So
I
just searching and studying.
Yeah, I know we all seem to have that ability, but a lot of people have given that away to that cell phone, that, thing in their hand, the little black magic box, as my one friend calls it, the black magic box. And Steve just proved it. What you said, you're telling this crazy information, and what are they doing? They're all looking at their phone, playing games or doing something, aren't they?
Yep. Yeah. A lot of people, there's complexities of this world, and if you start getting into some of the details, I think it can be a little overwhelming, and people want to ignore some of the details, or until something connects on a certain level, then, they'll start perking their ears up a little bit and paying attention, and how the message is delivered. There's all kinds of psychological reasons why it is that we're doing certain things, and the masters of psychology are the masters of Hollywood and all. I think a lot of that Hollywood, there is not a stick there, right? And it's a magical wand, and the television is all a part of that. And I can go into the history. The history of Hollywood actually started in the Bay Area. It started in Silicon Valley, and they moved it down there at a certain point. It actually started off with radio, vaudeville, and stuff like that. But it was originally like radio, and it was using the voice frequencies, all that stuff. And this all, goes back to wizardry and how to control people psychologically through manipulating information. And, it's been very well performed on humanity to psychologically manipulate. So,
don't you think regardless of whatever there is outside of us, don't you think that the answer is within you, and you can still get to where we got to get and fix ourselves to at least impact the outside instead of focusing on nothing but the outside? And another point I want to make is your perspective of Silicon Valley is yours, and isn't that the point? We all have a perspective.
No, well, the thing is I can agree with that. There's an element that you have to focus on yourself, right? And the self is that you have to understand personally. You have to come to an understanding of what it is that this world is, and then also of yourself. You have a duty to figure out what piece you play in this puzzle of the world, because you are not. God would never let itself be just one person, right? And so you are not God, but God is you, and God is me, and God is Robert, and God is everybody that's listening to this, and God is everybody in this world. So God split itself up into a lot of individuals that are going to have different ways of looking at the information, so that we have a piece to play, but we have to find all the other pieces, and we have to learn to communicate with all those other pieces if we ever want to come together. But God didn't enter into this world of physicality just to figure out how to get back out of it. It wants itself to figure out how to work within a place that it is not originally from, in the physicality. So us understanding the details of what the interplay is in this duality is a part of it, but you have to understand yourself first, right? So you're discovering things about a layer of being in the physical world, and how everything above is below, and all these things and these correlations. But all you're finding is a layer of correlation. And then you're just taking that as that's the only answer, when it's not. There's tons and tons of layers to what this existence is, and ways of thinking of it, and viewpoints around it, and a 360 point of view. Also, it's 3D. So 360 is just around an equator around it, looking at it. And that's still kind of a flat dimensional way of looking at it if you looked at it from the top. So there's a lot of angles and a lot of ways of thinking about things, but we do need to understand all the things about this duality. And part of the duality is, if you're a positive person and you're good and all these things, there is the opposite of you in this world. There has to be the opposition. That's the only way that there's balance. And you got to realize that the bad always focuses on dominating. That's just intrinsic within negativity and bad and all that. It just dominates pressure, forcefulness, all this stuff. So no, you can't just correct your own little tiny piece of the puzzle and expect the whole puzzle is going to go along with what it is that you think from your point of view. That you don't have that power. God would never give, and even our country is a balance of power, because if you gave all the power to one person, then you would just have a completely out of control scenario. Buddy, so
you got to do a show on this. I think we should steer the show back to Brian, our brother, Milky Way.
Yeah, I know we start getting. I hate to say it, we got Mandy Moo came back to us.
What you got to say?
Yes.
So I came back on.
Yes.
To light candle for Brian, and I thought the pine cone was a perfect representation, being a seed and also the pineal gland. And yes, just want to take this moment to light this candle and remember, like, we are all here. I wouldn't have known about any of you guys until I was listening to his podcasts. And
thank you, Mandy.
Yes, I want to say thank you, and just this is a candle for him, and I'm gonna let it burn today.
Okay, great. Yeah, because so Everybody's been talking in the chat about it, and we should all light a candle. As soon as you guys get talking again, I'm going to run it, and I'm going to go light my candle, and we're going to light that, at the end of the show. But we're all going to light. We should all light a candle for Brian in his remembrance, just so we're all thinking of him, because
And Jerry.
And Jerry, yes, and
thank you, Giant. Yes,
for all those people that, regardless if it's those people, but the people who we might have lost in our own personal lives.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Hey, Giant, I didn't mean to cut you off, brother.
No.
Totally.
Yeah.
No,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. No, I agree. I mean, these guys were very important. I mean, Brian, created the show and brought a lot of people together, and Jerry was awesome, man. I mean, we're missing out on two beautiful souls right now, and I definitely agree that we need to honor their life.
Right. And I don't know about anybody else, but Brian taught me that I could be love. And before him, I never thought, you're a dude. Why are you telling me, this, or, why are you trying to tell me what love is? And honestly, I'm not lying here that, he showed me that you could love anybody. And it wasn't just a superfluous, ownership, possession type love. It was just, just across the board, be nice to everybody. Love it forward, man. And that's what he taught me. And Jerry as well, For Christ's sake, no pun intended, I visited Jerry, and he lived in friggin' South Carolina. That's how much of an impact he put on me. And I miss that dude.
Yeah.
Too.
Brian
and I but I knew he loved me, and I loved him. So.
Yeah, and I have a little bit of a weird connection with them. I came across you guys not too long before. Like that year, but in the beginning of the year, before Jerry passed, and then Brian shortly afterwards. And, Jerry's a Capricorn, I'm a Capricorn, and Brian's a Gemini, and my son's a Gemini. And I know you're a Gemini also, Steve, so, I'm a very astrological minded person. So, to me, it's kind of like myself and my son, in a way. I think of it that way, So I definitely, I understand their personalities,
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jules, you've been pretty quiet over. Did you know Brian besides on the show?
Yeah, no, I talked with him once on the show, and I was, I watched the show a little bit too. So I am a little familiar with him. I wasn't able to get to know him as much as some other people, but he definitely, such a great energy and spirit about him that it's amazing how that it keeps going though. Like that's those seeds that he's planted that are growing still.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he inspired all of us, I think, to be more, to think more. I mean, he definitely did me. I mean, I'd never like missing a show. I missed a couple, but most of the time I was there, but I work. So, but it was nice. And then when I got to know him, I was just starting to really get to know him better. And then poof, he's gone. It's like, wow, and look where I am now. It's like, but I appreciate everything he did or told me and our conversations we had. And, it was good. I wish he would have stuck around a lot longer. I mean, I know Steve, you had a lot of interactions with them, and Lucky, did you ever know him or not?
I only watched the videos.
Yeah.
He's not gone. He's still around.
Yeah. Well, yeah, in the spirit side. Do you get voices from him? I know Lori.
No. That's not my place. No. I'm not. No. No. I have friends who can, but no. that is not my place, and that's other people's place to be. And he has a lot. He is. I'm not. There's no has. He is teaching a lot. He's still around, all of you, the ones who you say influenced. He's still influencing. It's just have to do it in the sleep when you're dreaming.
Okay.
He's around. He's directly impacting all of you. I was always far back. I was always through Wayne, our Wayne Steiger. Um, I mean, me stepping up was a whole different path that wasn't related to any of um, Brian. But Brian was just someone I used to watch once in a while, and when he passed, it was something that wasn't expected by me. And normally I see things coming. I didn't see that one coming, and so that's not part of my life path.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was just curious because, you're kind of in tune with some of that stuff. And I didn't know if some people like to turn that up and, I'm always trying to turn it up because I want to be that, kind of, and I'm working hard at it, put it that way.
There are rules. There are rules, and I don't like rules, but when the spiritual realm, there are some that I follow because I trust my guides and not the individual spirits I deal with on a daily basis. I have very strong guides who have stepped back a little bit lately because they want to see what I can do with it. But one of the rules is there are things that you don't do. And my interaction with Brian which is what I requested. It's like, hey, can I? And they're like, no, that is not your place. And even talking about it around makes me nervous, and I don't know why.
I can
one
tell.
of the things that is not my place.
Oh, no, that's well said. Well said. I mean, others have said that have been closer to him, that said they do get messages from him, or they hear his voice or at weird or odd times, or I'm watching the chat room and people have said, yeah, I've seen him in my dreams and things like that. So, what it's meant to be, what it's meant to be. And if he's out there, he's going to come to those people who he needs to inspire or tell things to, I'm sure. Right?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. He has things to guide. He's very much, he was done here. He had more to do on the side. And again, I'm going a little bit further than I'm supposed to right now. I'm getting that message right now but he's guiding a lot of these people who I'm sorry, I'm being told not. He's guiding a lot of people, and I was going to say some things that I'm not supposed to say, and I'm hearing the message right now that I'm not supposed to say anymore.
Okay.
That's something I'm not used to, and it's a big guy right now, and he's one of my stronger guides, and he's telling me to stop it.
Okay, well, we'll just stop right there then.
What was Brian doing? And now I don't like a question in my head, and he had much more to do with this world than I would realize till right now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I think we all knew that he did influence this world, and I don't know, was it you, Steve, or somebody said that there was a coincidence, or somebody did some number thing with how many shows he did and the day he did. It was a gematria thing. And it was how many what day he died and how many shows he did. And it was like a 5 thing. And I don't know. I don't remember, but I remember somebody saying it. So, I can't remember. But I know it was a gematria thing, and it all lined up, and it was like, wow, if you could have just seen that coming ahead of time, you could almost put a pinpoint on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, but hey, we live in a physical world where we don't pay much attention to that stuff, because if we did, how would we live our lives if we, how should I put this? If we lived our lives by what, like the card said, the card said I should go on a trip, and well, I better go find a bus or something, or fill up the car and go on a trip because the card said take a trip, or, the guy with the crystal ball said, yeah, I see love coming in your life, and well, I guess I better go out and find a girl, all that is happen chance. You know what I'm saying? I know Nina, she had, she had said, pick a card, and then it was number 2 or something. And I had 2 in my head and said, you'll meet a girl. And I'm like, well, I don't think I'm meeting no girl this week. I'm working.
Well, you're in the middle of nowhere too.
Yeah. And I'm in the middle of nowhere. There's more cows than people. Yeah. So anyway, there you go.
Any chick I see that's interested, I'll send your way. How's that?
Oh yeah. You go right ahead.
You're a hell of a guy.
She'll be looking at it saying, he lives where? North Dakota? See ya.
Just install a nice hot tub. Everything will be great.
Yeah. I don't think any hot tub it'd have to be a dang big hot tub. No, but
yeah, it's like a big heart that you have.
Well, thanks. I just do. That's just me. I do what
You're a great person, Robert, and I appreciate you for everything you do, brother.
Well, thank you. I thank all of you out there, too. Everybody in the chat room. I see Trina's joined us. Thanks, Trina. You can hear me. Thank you. Everybody came tonight, and people. I sent out a lot of invitations to a lot of people, so everybody's got a link. If you've emailed me, you've probably got a link to come on the Zoom. So get on there and come on. I'll admit you, and we'll all have a little chat. But anyway, I got my candle for Brian. I'll be lighting that here at the end of the show. And I even got a lighter. Believe it or not, I don't smoke, but I have a lighter come out of my bug out bag. There you go.
So, you haven't said much. What's going on? Jules, yeah.
Oh, kind of a continuation too, like the thanks, like, what you've done, Robert, and like Wayne and Trina. And I don't think people who have it like on like Fridays and stuff too, like Hard Fridays, to get people together and to the amount of work it does take to put these things together. I think so, and even there's the Discord and stuff too. It's a lot of work, and like I know personally, like I've had some experience with that too, and so it's like I kind of see like how much work people put into it. And for me, I am so thankful that people give of their time and their talents in the way they have, because I know for me it's such a great, like, to know that you always have the soul tribe and stuff, and these people that you can connect with, and it's like it's kind of like to kind of help like a compass to kind of make your way through and make sense of all the stuff that you have coming in or experiencing. And it's just absolute blessing, and for myself, and I'm absolutely thankful for all that everyone does to make those things happen, the shows and the videos and the chats and stuff. And I love being able to join those chats on a regular basis, and so many like familiar names and people that I've gotten to know a little bit like throughout the time, and I think it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's all about that. I think that was one of the things when I got on Brian's show was I noticed like people like me and Al were constantly there was a few other people too that were putting their emails in there and saying, hey, or the phone number or whatever. And then Brian started doing the call in or, doing something like this. Hey, I'm going to put the link out there. Anybody just show up and come on. He was trying really hard to get everybody to, hook up and become friends. And it was like, here's a good, safe meeting place where we all can get together and we all can bond. And, him leaving us was what really, I think, pulled us all together. And I mean, look at us now. Trina!
Hi, everybody. I forgot my light. Sorry, it's a little dark. I forgot to turn the light on, but I might jump up and do it. Merry Christmas Eve, everybody. So good to see you. I just got home
Merry
and
Christmas, Trina.
popped right in chat. I was like, I want to see my soul tribe. I was so glad you guys were still here.
Yep. Yeah, we're still here. Like I said, I was going to put on a till like 9:30 so everybody could come in and get on and make it a little earlier. I was going to have tomorrow off, but then I somehow or another I ended up I got to work. So, oh, you got your candle. Oh yeah, for Brian. Everybody light it. Remember, light a candle for Brian tonight. It's
like got the candle for Brian.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And just remember, I just want to tell everybody, I put it in my thing. I'm trying to work off the phone, and because I'm thinking if I hook the thing up, then I would screw up the computer again. I don't want it to go down. But the link, my email is in the description below. Go there, email me at the milkywaysoultribe@gmail.com, and then I will see it. I'll send you a link, and then you can come on and say hi. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. So,
say hi.
Trina, what are you doing for Christmas, and how is tell us a little bit about Christmas in the life of Trina.
Well, Christmas has always been a pretty big deal in my family. We were never really churchgoers, but my mom always has had like a lot of faith, and she loves the whole Christmas. I think it's her favorite thing of all time is Christmas. My grandma loved Easter, but mom loves Christmas. So it's always, for us, it's been just mandatory family time. Family gets together. We just open presents, and we don't really do the presents anymore. We do more bring over a bottle of wine or bring over some cookies, or we don't really do the presents anymore, except for the kids. You know, the kids always get completely spoiled. So yeah, it's always been a great time for food and family and games and drinks, and just a time to slow down because we all work a lot, and you know, it's just good to get together. And a lot of us are local, so yeah, my immediate family is pretty large, so it's fun.
Nice.
Yeah, so I went to mom's, and then after mom's, because we're doing small gatherings because I have a big family. So then after mom's, and I had to go to my sister's, and then went to my sister's. So yeah, it was fun though. It was good. Got to see the new additions to the family too. We have 2 little babies. My brother is a grandfather twice in the past 2.5 years. So yes, 2 new ones.
I love babies.
Me too. Oh gosh, I had them all night. I was being so bad. I was stealing Slater. I'm like, nope, my baby.
Slater.
It's my baby tonight. I get to have the baby tonight. Yeah. So I was the baby hog tonight. I loved it though.
That didn't sound right, but yeah, I got you.
He didn't even cry once. Not the whole night. The whole day. Nothing yet. He is the happiest. Oh, he's such a calm, happy baby. I was like, I just want to take him home.
Well, you guys got one thing up on me because I am not a baby person. I am terrified of little children and little kids. I'm terrified to put them and hold them in my hands and everything. It's like, no. And I don't want to change a diaper either. That's not happening in my world.
No, I'm so good at all that stuff. I love babies. I love kids though. I love children. Always have, always will.
Me too.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well,
I think that's why part of my mission is I save kids. Apparently people see me in the astral all the time, and I'm saving children. I'm in the Akashic records, and I have a whole bunch of kids outside on the stairs making noise, and I'm getting in trouble. There's always these kids around me. It's hilarious.
It's always Christmas when you're around, Trina.
Oh, you too, right. Steve. I saw your tractor and you were doing it. Oh my God, I was laughing so hard. And you're like, this is the best part. Here comes the hill. And boom, I was like, yes.
That is the best part.
I was loving it.
After that, it's not fun.
Oh, it was awesome though. I swear I grew up on tractors. So that was just like a personal, I was laughing so hard. I was like, Steve, you have no idea how much that just made my night.
Good. I'm glad.
Brought back memories. Yeah.
I know. Yeah. I love plowing snow. That's the one thing I miss out in North Dakota, even though we just haven't had a lot of snow out here.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody talks, but there's snow and it's cold, but you never get a lot. And the wind blows so much, it just blows it over to Minnesota. That's where it all goes. It's never our snow. It just comes here and then blows. To you guys. Yeah. That's where it comes from, Steve.
Us Minnesotans love snow, though.
Yeah, there. Hey.
Yeah.
Jules, are you a redhead too?
Am I a redhead?
Yeah. No?
No, right now I have purple and blue and
Oh, that's
teal.
right. You got it dyed.
Right on.
I was doing the galaxy theme for
I love it.
I keep with the planets and stuff with the Saturn and Jupiter. I thought, everyone's talking with the astronomy and different things. I'm like, I gotta do a galaxy theme. So
nice.
I love it.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
appropriate
your
too.
last
It's
name,
all about
Stone?
the mind.
And
The
my
what?
my mom says, well, when are you gonna grow up? And I said, well, what's that? Because she thinks like to dye your hair like weird colors. I'm like what's growing up? Like, why not have
Right,
fun?
that's no fun.
I ain't never gonna grow up. I'm gonna always be a Toys R Us kid.
Me too. I'm with
Even though
you.
they closed them down now.
Yeah.
I know.
Speaking of toys and games and stuff, I always loved Christmas because we always had nothing much to do. So we played there was always a board game that we ended up playing.
Yeah.
Some kind of board game
Yes.
or card game during Christmas.
Cards.
Yeah. So
Yes.
what did you guys play?
We
We
played
played 500.
cards, poker,
Oh.
rummy,
Yep.
crazy eights,
Mm-hmm.
and then board games like Yahtzee, and then lately, it's been like Cards for Humanity and stuff. So,
Yes.
like, it's kind of fun. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I ended up playing that Cards for Humanity. Somehow I just can't get into that game as much as other people. I mean,
It's
sorry.
pretty raunchy. I think
Yes,
it helps if you have a couple cocktails too.
I'm just not the raunchy kind of guy, as you can tell.
Right. I feel you.
Oh,
My family's crazy. They love that stuff. They're hilarious. They're quite the rowdy bunch. Yeah.
Lucky
Yep.
is Stone your last name? I think I asked you this before.
Oh no, not at all. Lucky is the name of my cat, and Stone is the name of something I saw.
Right
It's the name of my
on.
channel.
That's
It's the
awesome.
name of
Well,
my
I asked
channel.
because my last name is Stone. That's why.
Yeah, Steve
No,
Stone.
my name is Smith. My name is Francis Smith, which is really, really for Irish in this area is very common. So Lucky was a cat, and Stone was something I saw, and I put it as my channel and went with it a year ago.
Mm. Well, see, but that fits. Everybody knows everybody by their code name. It's like, and that
Yeah.
works. It just seems to work better.
It does.
It-
It does.
it is-
I'm gonna turn my light on.
It works.
Yeah. Because if we talk about Lucky Stone, everybody knows who you are.
And
You know.
it freed me up a lot because I became I was able to be the real me, if you can believe that. I created a whole persona where this is exactly who I am. I don't have to be anyone else's version of me. This is the me I want to be.
Yes. I'll tell you a story about persona and the real me kind of thing. Now, if you ever get the chance, you could probably try this yourself, but I was an activities director at a dude ranch, right? And one day there was a group of people and they had a gorilla costume. And they said, put on the gorilla costume and go out there on the dance floor and do your thing and whatever. And so I did. Nobody knew who I was. And I could do whatever I want. I was a whole different person in the gorilla costume because all of a sudden I became somebody else. How is that? It's just but like you said, you change your name and you could become somebody else.
I think that's what Finding God's about too, brother.
Yeah. I mean, it is. It's in a small sort of way, it is. But I realized that
Isn't that weird?
after that day, that changed my whole perspective of a lot of things.
Growing up
Speaking
with
of
freckles
gorilla
and red hair
suits,
and
we
being
used to
overweight.
send one
Huh?
of the kids out in the sand dunes, and he used to dress up in a gorilla suit really late at night. And it's jet black. It's really dark out there. So he'd wait till people were getting their drunk on, and he'd dress up in this gorilla suit, and he'd walk into people's campsites, and he would
Oh my
just sit
God.
in one of the chairs around the fire, and it would take him a few minutes to figure it out. And people
Maybe that's where all the Sasquatch sightings are coming from.
They'd send him back with bananas and stuff. We were dying. It was so funny.
You don't want to come across the wrong camp to doing that though at night.
People in the sand dunes are pretty chill. They really are. And when they see a gorilla sitting in the camp, they just start laughing and they start pulling out bananas and stuff and sending them with liquor and firewood. We're like, right on, Kyler.
Isn't it
everybody?
Isn't it amazing how when somebody does that people treat them differently too?
And it's such a laugh because some people get scared and they're like, everybody's like,
That's
oh my God, there's a gorilla. It's so funny.
Absolutely.
It's not something you think you're going to see in the middle of the desert. It's just, it's funny. We like to do stuff like that. We have a lot of fun stuff going on when we camp and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah.
I see. Oh, shoot. We got somebody else coming in, but I asked you to unmute. Okay. Peter.
But like you said, how you changed in that gorilla suit.
Yeah.
Kyler would change in the gorilla suit too. That's why I was laughing, Robert. I was like, I could totally relate to that because Kyler would turn into this totally outgoing, crazy, spontaneous person as soon as he put on that gorilla suit. It was hilarious.
I put on my gorilla suit when I turned 26 and turned into the person you see before you, the loud, loquacious, obnoxious, pushy. Before that, I was an introvert and felt like, I had to please everybody or assimilate. Now it's like, I am who I am, and I try to fix myself for the naughty things that I do. But I appreciate every one of you guys for putting up with my stupidness and my.
We love you, Steve.
Pushiness.
Hey, I'm telling you, this journey's hard too because, boy, when your perspective shifts, it shifts hard, and you think you've got it figured out, and then you're like, wow, there's more to know. It's a journey. It's a conundrum, and you went straight into the Emerald tablets, dude. You weren't playing around. You went straight for like the really deep stuff, Steve. I was like, whoa, look at Steve go.
It kind of finds you though. I mean, I think your true purpose in life finds you, like Giant was saying.
It does. But yeah, I saw when you were going through that material, I saw you transforming. It was kind of mind blowing. It really was.
And I couldn't have been there without you guys. I mean, you guys have all helped me on my journey, and I appreciate every one of you.
Thank you.
Peter Collins, what's up?
Yes.
Can you hear us?
Peter. Yes.
Hey guys, how are you?
Hey.
Good. We were waiting for you on mute there for a minute. I didn't know if it was going to work.
Well, I didn't want to unmute because my wife is baking and her blender and everything is going on behind me, so I didn't know if it was going to catch on to everyone else.
I don't know. Sometimes, people get the thing and it's muted and their camera's off and their thing. And we were like waiting and waiting and waiting and nothing happens. It's like, they don't know what buttons to push, but welcome.
I have no camera. I'm scary. I don't want everyone to see me.
That's all right.
Peter must be a Canadian.
Yeah, I was wondering, Francis, where are you from? I see the Canadian symbol on your shoulder there.
Oh, I'm from Massachusetts. I go to Quebec a lot whenever before the pandemic.
Okay, Mr. Bill Burr.
I'm lost there, but I'm sure there's something funny behind that.
You don't know Bill Burr?
No.
He's a comedian. He's a comedian from Boston.
Boston.
Oh,
Yeah.
Boston.
Bill Burr. I'm thinking, no.
And Francis looks very much like him.
Oh, good.
Oh, well, there you go. You got your doppelganger.
He's a doppelganger for sure.
Yes.
I see you guys are confused. You loyal to the crown, but you speak French and you live in Canada. What's up with that?
I am not loyal to the crown, my friend.
I'm talking the Canadian system, right?
No, the Quebecois. The Quebecois are not too loyal to the crown. They used to be, but not anymore.
That's the French part, right? Quebec?
Yeah. Yeah.
We were speaking earlier about legal and lawful. And actually, the rest of Canada besides Quebec is under common law, as well as the United States is. And Quebec is under the legal system, which is Napoleonic law. And all of these things are related to what the gentleman who was speaking earlier I can't remember his name, but he's got that
Giant.
408 number.
He's still here. He don't have a picture either. He's still here. Giant, you still here? I think he's still here. I see his thing still.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And these are the things I've been researching lately about the difference between legal and lawful. And lawful is what God has granted us, and legal is what is under the corporation, or what we have been falsely led to believe is our true self, which is our birth certificate, which is not lawful, it is legal. And it is registering us under the corporate system.
Yeah, it reifies the physical nature of our world, and it's actually the furthest from true reality that we're at right now in our world, I believe.
Hence the birth certificate.
Yes. So
the first trespass against us. And we really do need to bring this back into common law, back into the public court system, to reaffirm who we really are. We are not slaves. No one has the right to administer our property or ourselves. We are not slaves. We are human. We are man. We are woman. That's who we are.
Whoa, man.
Whoa.
I agree.
I agree.
Yes. Yes.
And I will once again mute myself because I have said what I wanted to say. And I love you all. Favor to all, love to all.
Well, thank you for coming on. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. And from all of us and from myself, thank you for showing up. That was great to have you on. And I hope you come back on again. We can have a really good conversation about all of that. I think that's a whole nother show.
100%. I love you guys. I really do.
Much love, brother. Much love.
Thank you.
Peter.
Merry Christmas, all.
Merry
Peter,
Christmas.
what part of Canada are you from?
Unfortunately, I'm in the most terrible spot of Canada, which is Toronto.
Toronto.
What's terrible about Toronto?
I'm not going to comment.
You have to come here.
That's
all I can say.
Isn't John Max remote vision from Toronto? Is he from Toronto? I'm not sure.
Perhaps he is. I'm not too sure. There's a lot of good people here, but it's just one of those places that most people are brainwashed and most people are very, very asleep. Unfortunately.
Before you go, speaking of that, what is Christmas in Canada, in Toronto, like?
I don't know what it's like for most people, but for me, I've done the same thing. I've gone to my 4 children's place. I've dropped off the presents for my 9 grandkids, and I'm just living my life as I'm supposed to.
Nice.
That's it.
Nice. That is
yeah,
awesome.
I have 4 kids and I have 9 grandchildren. Yeah.
Nice.
Wonderful. Good for you. Good for you.
Love you guys. Love you guys.
Love you too. Thank you for coming. Merry Christmas.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, Peter.
Bye. Well, by gosh, we're hearing from everybody everywhere.
I love it.
It's wonderful. I mean, it's nice to know that people are still carrying on and going about their lives regardless of what's going on out there, not letting it get to them, you know? And then there's, don't you think? You know,
I would agree.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's hard. It's been a rough year. It is.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
anything you
So
can
the
do to
hardness
still
we
have
know
some
what
normalcy,
toughness
you
is.
know?
Absolutely.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
talked over you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We need to just, keep manifesting, better reality and keep plowing along and don't let it get to us. Have your Christmas, get together with friends. Not everybody celebrates, there's all kinds of different religions. And I think a lot of us have given up the religion part, although that we all come from some sort of religion background because they're family or relatives or something along the lines, you know what I mean? But regardless, even that, even if you weren't, people still celebrate it because everybody else is that not the thing? It's like everybody's putting up a Christmas tree. It's fun. And who says it wasn't fun to wake up on Christmas morning and get some gifts when you were a kid? I mean, it would, you know, or something or anything.
Yeah. You know, I think it's like a lot of these things that we found out, you know, that they come from a lot of different things than we originally anticipated. But the spirit of Christmas for most people is about getting together with people you love, exchanging gifts, showing that you care about one another, just food, time, family. That's what most people are doing, and it's a beautiful thing. And now for me, when I see the Christmas, we've taken a lot of the commercial part out of it, really focused on the family and the food and the games and just spending time with each other. But it seems like everybody in this community, no matter what religion you're practicing, we're all seeking for the same thing, which is enlightenment. And I think that is what, to me now, the representation of a lighted Christmas tree is the lighting of the pineal gland within my own mind. So it's a symbol of enlightenment to me now. Yeah, I've changed the meaning in my mind.
That's where all the lights in Christmas come from, is that's exactly what it's about.
Yeah.
And that's why we're enamored by it when we look at it. It's because it's the light in the dark. It's like a city on the horizon in the dark. Robert can attest to this in North Dakota. When you see the city way off in the distance, you know, darkness, that's the light in the abyss. And yes, that's what the Christmas tree is.
It's amazing how it gets so dark out here. You know, you can go out places and it's literally dark.
I had a UFO experience there.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
What part of? What area?
Well, actually, it was in South Dakota. My bad. It was in South Dakota. Same thing, though. I mean, same landscape, right?
Yeah.
You can see forever, but I was in South Dakota.
Flat.
Flat, flat. Dances with Wolves is what you could describe it as, that movie.
Flat rolling hills and Badlands.
Yeah. You know, we have a cabin up north, and we see a lot of ships in the sky up there, and it's 35 minutes from where that guy got taken. Did the movie called Fire in the Sky. Yeah, that was filmed right down the street from our cabin. So when you say it's black in those woods, yeah, you can't see your hand in front of your face. It's that black.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So dark.
Did you ever, when I was in Wisconsin, this was many years ago, we were kids and we'd go out riding and stuff. We found this stuff called foxfire wood. Did you ever hear that?
No.
Okay. So it's wood that's decaying from old logs. And as it decays, it glows in the dark, like a glow stick, but not very much. I mean, it glows in the dark. So we'd ride around, we'd see these old logs and they would be glowing, you know, not much of them, but parts of them. And
I've never seen that. That's awesome.
It's called foxfire wood.
That's cool.
And we'd pick up the glow things, you know, because they're like glow sticks. We'd run around the woods riding our horses, you know. Some of the horses, believe it or not, they can see in the dark, and other ones, they just run into a tree.
Really?
Wow.
Some of them can see in the dark?
The horses aren't really good in the dark. Some of them are. I can tell you, one I had, he could see in the dark real good, and other ones, man, they would just run off the trail. They wouldn't know where it was, and then run into trees and fences. It was terrible.
A lot of people think you steer the horse all the time, but it's not the case, is it? It's like a sled dog, right?
Yeah, especially in the dark. I couldn't see where I was going. I'd just hang on and hold my hand up like this so it branched and hit me in the face.
Right.
And we'd hold these sticks up, you know, so everybody, where are you? Over here.
Yeah.
Because the minute you turn on a flashlight, everybody is blinded. And the horses are blinded, and it takes them a while to get their sight back. So they're even worse in the dark. So the object is to let your eyes adjust, and then you'd get these, you know, pieces of foxfire wood, and then, so that's awesome. That's how it worked. Oh, we got somebody else join us. Teresa's coming on.
Yay!
All right. But yeah, those are experiences you never forget.
You know what I used to love? A friend of mine, he worked on a dude ranch, Robert, and he did the rides and stuff. Well, it was so cool, you know, because he worked there. He took us out on a moonlight ride one time, and we went over this mountain, and we went to this place called Greasewood Flats and got burgers and beers, and they had kitchen posts right for the horses and everything. Arizona still has a few places like that. It's pretty cool. What a blast. What a blast. But I mean, it was a big, beautiful, full moon. So we could see really well. But yeah, that was my first time I'd ever ridden in the nighttime. And it was magical. Loved it.
We got together as a group once and did that in a bar up the road, threw on this big shebang for New Year's. And it was like 20 below zero that night. We all rode our horses up there and tied them up all over the place. And at the end of the day, I think what kind of got us thrown out there was when one girl, she got a little drunk, brought the horse in the bar and run it around the pool table a few times.
Shit. Oh, God.
And of course, then everybody was, not me, but a lot of them were drunk and they took off running. And one girl, she went and she was in the ditch and she come out of there and she went up on the road and she got thrown off. And the other girl, she fell in a snowbank and her horse ran back to the house. And one girl, she pissed her pants for some odd reason. And one guy, he fell off he lost his he didn't fall off. He lost his glasses and then he's sitting in the snow. He's like, I know they're here. They're here somewhere. It was hilarious. It was the longest night in the world. It was hilarious.
I bet it was. Oh, God.
And you got to remember,
drugs on horses at nighttime. Oh, dear God. Yeah.
And at 20 below zero, too. It was cold.
We were like 85 degrees, moonlit night, had a couple beers. Nobody peed their pants. Nobody fell off. Nobody got bucked up. We did run into a rattlesnake on the way home, and one of the horses went up, and then took off, but they didn't fall off. So yay.
You piss your pants in 20 below weather, you're gonna feel it, right?
Oh my God, I can't imagine.
Yep, that's the way it goes. Those were the days.
Teresa,
are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, you're there. We didn't see you.
Yeah, Teresa.
Hello.
Can you see me? I can see one of you at a time.
No, I can't. We can't see you.
You gotta hit the speaker view or gallery view up in the right-hand corner.
Let's see. Live on custom. There's a little face here. Not even the face. Not even.
Oh, now you muted yourself. Well, there you go. She'll figure it out.
There we go. Getting there. I have a little white emoji. What is that?
I don't know.
Okay, here we go.
This isn't StreamYard.
Tap your screen.
Yeah, I know it's Zoom, but I'm tapping the screen here, and I have this.
Are you on a phone or are you on a laptop or?
Start video. I'm on a phone.
Oh, there you are.
That's
hey.
Oh my God.
Oh, there you go. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. How are you all?
Good. Look at you got a cool background there. It's like Santa sleigh or something.
I didn't even know I had the background. That's pretty cool.
Right on. Look at you go.
How are you, Jules?
I'm doing awesome. It's so good to see you.
It's good to see
you, Jules.
Yeah.
And Teresa. I see Teresa a lot, though. Jules, I don't get to see it hardly ever. So thank you for being here.
Chat room all the time. I'm like, hi, Jules.
Yeah. That's what it's all about. It's all about us getting together and just saying hi and enjoying each other's company and discussing a few things and and the Grinch who stole Christmas up in the corner here. That is
I see a telephone image for somebody down there in the lower right hand corner.
Yes, that's Giant. He's in the.
Hi. Okay. All right. I thought he left or said goodbye.
No, he's still here. You just don't have a picture. That's all right.
Oh, okay.
Peter was here too. Did the same thing. It was fine.
Did I turn the phone sideways or vertical? I can't remember.
You're fine. You're fine. Just stick with what you got. You're doing good.
Okay.
Yes. Don't mess with it. We might
I
lose
couldn't
you.
wait to come here tonight. I don't mean on camera. I'm with you guys because. My family was here. My brother's 2 kids were here.
Yeah.
And they ended up coming late. And we had enough food to feed an army, and there's only 4 of us. I just had all this food everywhere, and all I could think was Milky Way. Milky Way's going on. My friend's Milky Way, you know?
Yeah.
Just like you too fast, you have two families. You have your blood family, and then you have your spirit family. And I just couldn't wait to come in here and say hi to everybody. And
That was me too. I was like, my daughter was like, Mom, are you ready? I'm like, yeah, let's go. Yeah, because I wanted to get home too. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go see if Milky Way's still going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Me
I
too.
took it at one point. Robert was dropping off and having trouble, and it was Kaz and Jules.
Yeah. Kaz and Jules were first on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I appreciate them for coming. Thanks, Kaz. I'm sure it's late there.
Hi, Kaz.
And Jules, she came on for a little bit, and she was showing us her figs, and she was going to eat prawn. They eat prawn there, which is shrimp. So shrimp on the Barbie, eh? Or something like that. Yeah. So I'm glad they came.
Me too.
I never actually seen what a fig is. I mean, I've never had a fig Newtons. You know? But,
me too.
That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Hey, you learn something all the time. It's kind of nice to see it's Christmas and it's all green down there, you know?
I figured out say hi to everybody, and now I can see the whole show. I've got my laptop.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, that's a problem, is it? The phone and the laptop. I have the laptop turned all the way down.
Yeah. So how do you celebrate Christmas? What do you do for Christmas? You get together with family and have a lot of food, obviously.
Yeah, well, normally I used to come from a pretty good sized family. There'd be like 12 to 14 people here every Christmas Eve. It was a tradition.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. It's when all the little kids in every family unit would open up all their stuff, you know, and then we'd have an adult exchange and a big party. But the families dwindled down over the years, and a lot of them moved away. Some of them live in Florida, and we never hear from them hardly ever.
Right.
So, and my sister passed away last year, so up here, and her family's what you call dysfunctional.
Mm-hmm.
So so it's just me and my brother now, and his kids. They come over every Christmas Eve, and it's pretty much it. They eat, they drink, you know, they open their presents and have a good time and tell us what's going on in their lives, you know, and they're adults now, you know, so there's no little ones anymore. So
nice. Well, and that's good. At least somebody's coming around, you know, because like I said, you know, it's nice to do that. I used for Christmas used to bake a lot of. I mean, I've been alone on my most, you know, forever, and not like the giraffe over here. Anyway, I used to bake cookies, and I didn't have much money. I was real poor. My family was poor all the time too. So when I was a kid, we didn't have much. We did, you know, homemade gifts a lot. But I used to bake cookies and make fudge, and then I'd make plates, and I would go to people's houses and, you know, stop in. I'd have a whole car full of stuff, and I would stop in everybody and, hey, I'm here, and here's your plate full of cookies. And I would travel around from house to house on Christmas Day, delivering my platefuls of cookies and things like that. So that was my thing, and I get to visit everybody. And everybody.
You know what we've been doing? We've been making fudge.
Oh, I love fudge.
God, it's so good. It's so good. It's a lot of work to make fudge, but it's so delicious.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know how to make fudge without flattening it. I'm telling you, it comes out like a pancake.
Oh, we have, you know, it's a secret about temperature, and you got to stir it and stir it. It literally, your arm, you're like, oh my God, my arm's going to fall off. But yeah. We've got it down to a science now.
Did you ever make the cream cheese fudge?
No.
But I made that so who was it that was saying they were making that? I don't know if it was Lori or if it was one of the no, I think it was Jules made it. I think one of them did, but I'm like, how cheese fudge or cheesecake fudge?
It's delicious.
It's cream cheese fudge. You use the Philadelphia cream cheese, and then you mix you know, powdered sugar in there, and then you melt some of the hard chocolate things, and then I melt that. That's the hard part. And then you mix all that together, and then you put your little bit of vanilla in there, and you mix it all, and then it's still hard. But there's no cooking like the other fudge. You got to cook it on the stove for a long time. This is mostly cold, and you mix it up, and then you put it in the freezer. You know, let it get hard for a little while, and you can keep it in the fridge. You don't want to let it sit out. But boy, Oh man, that cream cheese is just a cream cheese fudge. Oh my God, it's so
It
good.
is good. I've had it before, but I've never made it. But,
It's real
delicious.
simple. I could probably send you the recipe.
Right on, dude. Please, that sounds awesome. I want to try that.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're gonna make peanut butter fudge tomorrow. We made the chocolate with the nuts, but tomorrow we're gonna do peanut butter.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's so good. Well, you know,
It's so good. We fight over the peanut butter. It's yeah.
which
Nice.
goes to show I can give you my pancake fudge.
I'll give you my recipe, Teresa, and I'll tell you how to do it, and then you can get fluffy
All
fudge.
right, got a deal. Because I'm
We're
Really,
gonna have to all start sharing recipes.
Yeah, we can make a Milky Way messenger cookbook.
That's right. Well, Crystal was gonna make some cookies the other day. She was talking about how she makes these really good cookies, and I was hoping she'd come on and tell. Well, she could tell us all about the cookie making. You know.
What is Steve doing? Steve is like this.
I just don't
He's
know where you
playing
get
with
all that
filters.
stuff.
You
It's
said
so funny.
fudge and I fell off my chair, literally.
You're snowman,
Awesome.
Steve.
I just saw
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
I just saw
I know that.
Milky's mom says don't make fudge when it's raining. I have no idea why not.
Oh, because of the humidity. I bet the humidity. See, we don't get a lot of rain, so.
Brenda, I shouldn't make fudge at all.
That's so funny.
Oh.
Maybe when it's snowing, it'll have a better chance of no humidity. Maybe that's it. Maybe Maryland has too much humidity to make fudge.
I was gonna say that could be because we don't have humidity. That's why the fudge comes out so good. Because we don't have none.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking for use. You know, what can I say?
Yeah, I love fudge.
Hey, Teresa, I love you. I love you, girl.
Love you too. Love you. I'm trying to keep a straight face while Robert's talking, and I look at the corner of my eye and I see his back.
Yeah, Steve is snowman.
Now too, when I fell, it hurts.
No.
God, it hurts bad.
I don't know. I don't know how you do that, but I haven't figured that filter thing out yet. But I'm just hoping my computer don't crash again because now that's a funny one. But
that's no fun.
I don't know why my computer.
Maybe Krista could weave this one out for me.
There you go, Crystal. If you're out there, you see that happening. There you go. Yeah. But yeah, this is like the best Christmas I could imagine, and I really thank you all for coming because it's made my day. Because tomorrow I got to go to work, and I'll be at work all day, and it won't be any fun.
I can't believe you have to work again on Christmas Day. What did you draw? An unlucky number or what?
Yes, I did.
What else has he got to do? He lives in North Dakota. Come on.
Yeah. Well,
can I try a little bit? What exactly do you do? I mean, you're always on call. You're like the Army.
Yes, I am. I'm not. I'm a oil pipeline operator. So
that's serious stuff. You can't screw around with that.
Yeah, the oil never stops. It pumps all the time, goes down the line and off to God knows where. And you got to keep it moving. You know, the well doesn't just say, you know, and you have to make sure all that stuff. And you just don't get oil out of the ground either. When you're pulling the oil out, it comes with gas and it comes with water. It comes with a lot of other things that come out of the ground. So and when you pull the Steve, it makes it really hard to concentrate when I see
It never gets a date.
Yeah. So that's the thing. So you got to make sure that works. And of course, when you bring out water at 20 below zero, like it is out here, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah.
You know, and the oil turns to sludge, and about the only thing that comes out of there good is the gas, and then that goes down the line. And well, when you take gas and you turn it cold, it drops out the liquids in it, and then all that stuff is in the pipeline, and then that freezes up too. So, it drops out all the hydrocarbons as it moves along. So there you go. Maybe you learned something today.
I did. The thing is that you're like the one they're always calling on. You're always like having to be like 24/7. It's like,
yeah, well,
feel for you, man.
I was the guy who volunteered to learn all this stuff, and then when they you know, it was to my advantage before because I learned everything. And now that I know how to do all the extra stuff, now they look at me and go, well, you know how to do that. Why don't you need to work and do that?
Right.
It's like, oh, why did I learn how to do all that now?
Right.
Yeah.
Now
Wow.
you know how to do everything.
Yeah. I can fill in everywhere now.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it is what
That's
it
why
is.
you never don't go to work when you're on call. Poor Robert.
Yeah, I'm on call. Oh, geez.
Oh, like poor Robert. That's why they always call you. It's like, oh, yep, Robert's gonna get called.
Yeah.
Well,
He's on
thanks
call
for
today,
being here
Robert.
with us tonight. You know, I mean, thanks for opening this up for us tonight.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
Robert. It's a
How
pleasure
many
to be
people
here.
would do that on Christmas Eve, Robert? So
Yeah. Well, like I said,
look at all these people in here.
yes. And I'm so happy everybody, like I said, everybody's dropping in and I'm really happy they came. You know, even if they come into the chat room and you're just popping in and seeing all the new faces and you know, things like that and the new ideas. And now that you broke the ice, you know, it's time to come on the show once in a while and, you know, join in or something.
Hang out with the crew.
That's right.
This
Yeah.
little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
That's
Let
right.
it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
You know, look, Giant came on and now, you know, he's like popping. He's got so much good information.
Yes, he does.
You know.
He sends me mind-blowing stuff all the time. He has for a long time, and it's always been like, wow.
Yeah, I'm
I
learning
mean, wow.
so
He sent me
much
some
stuff.
stuff that was like, wow.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Oh, good.
My son's gonna say something. You want to say something, Mason? No, you don't want to say nothing. Say
Hi.
Say hi. Say hi.
Hi, Mason.
But sorry, I've been having it on mute. He wants to talk every time, but now once I put him on the spot, Mason.
That
say
they
hi.
get stage fright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a little Gemini. Say hi.
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 Merry Christmas
This
Eve.
is the Soul Tribe. Say hi, Soul Tribe. The Milky Way Soul Tribe. Say hi. No. Oh, you're being shy.
Yeah.
I know.
Beautiful.
It's just the Milky Way Soul Tribe. That's us.
Yeah, he calls his mom Milky. So, and he's a Gemini like Brian. So he's connected. He's connected in the astrological.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's cool. Yeah.
Well, like, and that's the thing. We all have something to share, and we all have different connections. And as we talked about earlier tonight, we're all just fractals of the God figure there that we imagine, and we all have our different perspectives. And when we come together and share this, that becomes powerful. And
yeah,
it's wonderful because we've all seen a different perspective of something, and then, you know, and when we bring it together, we share that information. It's just awesome. And I appreciate every one of you, and I appreciate everybody out there for, you know, sharing with me and bringing your stories on and coming out and spending Christmas Eve with me. It's been a really good time. And I thank everyone. I really do. Thank you.
Can I read something for everybody before
absolutely.
you sign off?
Absolutely.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. You know, it's like a lot of people don't celebrate the holidays and stuff, and a lot of us come from different backgrounds, and I wanted to just share a little message of enlightenment, because I know that's the one thing that all of us come together with in a very, very deep way. So enlightenment is a state of being in light. Oh, really, Zodiac? You agree? Yeah. So to enlighten is to impart spiritual, intellectual knowledge, to shed light on something essential. She smells my food and she wants to eat it. So to be enlightened means to be free from prejudice and ignorance, and to possess a spiritual knowledge that sheds light from the above. We can surmise that enlightenment is a state of being that is completely in light, totally and spiritually informed, and free from having to judge, or to compare. The opposite of enlightenment is a state of mental darkness. The curtains are pulled so tight that they can't let the light in. According to most spiritual seekers, attaining enlightenment is the goal of life on earth. And when we reach the state of enlightenment, we know the answers to the questions of ontology, which is the metaphysical category that asks the question, what is all of this about? And teleology, which is the metaphysical category that asks the question, why are we here? Then this boils down to who is directing the bigger picture? And do I really have a starring role in this, or am I just an extra? Enlightenment is a state in which you have merged completely with your higher self. Your higher self is able to have constant contact with the angels and the guides and your ancestral family and all of your heavenly helpers. Just think of that. A chance to joke around with your angels or guides whenever you want. Enlightenment is hilarious, and life is absurd. We humans love a challenge, and we love a game. Each time we get closer to being released from the human qualities that block enlightenment, something else comes up. For example, you finally get to a point where you aren't attached to the pain and suffering of others. You can be carefree, and then you feel that you can go anywhere in the universe and survive with total freedom. And then you add a child to your life, and everything changes. Now you have a whole new set of emotions and instincts to follow and to integrate, as well as a new capacity for love. So just know, guys, we're all doing the different parts the different ways, but it's bringing us to more love. So that's what this is here. It's a family, and it's as real as the ones of blood. So I am so grateful to be on this enlightenment process with you guys, and it's going to take us down many paths, and I am so glad to be going down it with you. So thank you for being in my life and in my world on this Christmas Eve.
Love it. Thank you, Trina.
Thank
Yes,
you.
it's a better place to be. Yep.
Yes, we all want to be a little bit better.
Kermit the Frog while you were talking.
I see him. Hi, Kermit.
Trying to keep a straight face to listen to you.
I know. It's just like, it's so funny, and the frog keeps turning his head. Going,
at you, Robert. Here's looking at you. Here's looking at you.
No, that's one of the most beautiful songs ever. Is that song by Kermit the Frog?
Yep.
That's what I was thinking. Actually,
It's not easy being green.
Yeah, I love that song.
No, I think so. And he sings the one about the rainbow.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
One of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard in my life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, beautiful song. Beautiful, beautiful thing.
That's how I feel right now. Like I remember the old Muppet Squares.
Yes.
Yeah. We had a couple more. We could play Hollywood Squares here.
Right.
Okay, guys. Well, it's getting late, so we're gonna light our candle for Brian.
Yeah,
I know. Mandy Moo has lit her candle, and here's my candle for Brian. Oh, you got one too. All right.
This is my light.
If you don't have a candle, that's all right. We don't worry about it. And thank you all. We're remembering. Oh, there's a night there. And anyway, thank you all. We're gonna remember Brian this Christmas. Brenda, we're all thinking about him, and we know he's out there, and he's thinking about us, and he'll be with you one way or the other. I want to send out my thoughts and cosmic hugs to you, because he was your son, and we all miss him just as much as you do. He's touched all of us in one way or another, as we talked about tonight. If it was actually being in our lives, or just us sharing part of his life, or watching his videos, or any of the videos he did, but he will continue on as we remember him living on in the physical world here, even though he's never gone in the spiritual realm kind of thing.
Right.
Merry Christmas, Milky Way. We love you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Merry Christmas. Merry
And
Christmas.
Jerry
Merry
Runk
Christmas, everyone.
and
Yes,
all the
Jerry.
ones that we love and have lost. So
Mhm.
here's to all of you.
We haven't lost anybody.
Much love.
They're just
Yeah.
mortified.
Yeah.
Well, I just mean in the physical.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah. We
Yes.
don't lose
Yeah,
them
that
ever in
was
our
us,
spirit,
man.
but the flesh, we miss the flesh sometimes.
Yes, indeed. I agree.
Absolutely.
Hey, Rob,
Absolutely.
can I plug ours for Monday?
Yes, you go right ahead. Go
Yeah,
right.
but I'm hoping you all can come because we're having like a special to honor veterans. It's about respect and understanding and misconceptions and so forth. And Barry Chad is joining us. A friend of ours named Steve Clark from some of our other chat rooms is joining us. He knows Barry. We all know each other pretty well. And Al Sorello will be there. He's a veteran as well. So we'll have at least 3 veterans on there, maybe some more. But Lori's sister, Kelly, has done up a really nice presentation, Robert. And she used to work with the vets in the Veterans Administration, and she's got counseling background and experience. So she's going to lead a roundtable for the vets. It's just to celebrate and appreciate veterans for the holidays and let people be aware of some things they need to be aware of. So
my daddy's a vet.
Awesome.
Is he?
That
And my
is awesome.
grandfather and my yeah.
Yeah, my dad is too.
Yes, my dad is too. So I think we all know a vet somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
Steve, and I don't think an airplane pilot or a cowboy counts. Anyway.
My grandfathers are vets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we all seem to. So and they have hard times when they get out of the service. A lot of times they do, and other ones, I mean, they put in a lot of hard work there, and we they keep us all free. Put it that way. They keep us free and in this country that we don't seem to realize and respect so much sometimes. I know we all do, but there's a lot of people who don't realize what they got.
Yeah, they don't, and especially those that have any kind of problems, and disabilities and things like that. Even folks that have never seen combat have a lot of issues with family separation, kids being moved around from base to base. So there's just a lot of things there that people aren't aware of, and there's a lot of misconceptions. You wouldn't believe how they treat people right here in my own neighborhood.
Yep.
So, just to bring things to the surface and let them talk about it a little bit,
That's why I love you, because you're such a beautiful soul.
Absolutely.
And they got beautiful souls too. These guys, there's so many of them in our soul tribe. You wouldn't believe how many are vets.
Oh, I can imagine. A lot of times they don't want to say anything. They just kind of keep it under covers, but it's not the case. It should,
to come out,
Yes.
So you're welcome, Brenda. We love you too.
Yes, so much.
So with that, I
vets are our backbone.
Yeah. Oh yes, they definitely are.
There's some people, Robert, that actually said, I don't think it was your chat room. I think it was either David Knoll's chat room or we were in Wayne's. And they actually said something like, how can you consider yourself spiritual or of higher consciousness if you wear the uniform of the United States Army? I'm like, whoa, you didn't say that.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
And somebody else joined in and said the same thing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it has nothing to do with higher consciousness. That's the spiritual. Who says you can't put the uniform on and defend your country? And, you still need defense. I mean, of course we don't want war, but they think veterans are warmongers, and they're not.
No. I mean, and when they do go to war, it's to keep other people free and to uphold those. If you want to be
anytime somebody says that, just turn around and look at them and say, well, do you condemn a doctor?
What have you done is what I'd say.
Right.
Well, the thing is that more death happens from medical accidents than we've had in the wars. So, when you want to really start to talk about, it's like, come on, people, everybody that signed up for these, they went in with the right reasons, trying to defend their country. Or my dad got drafted. He didn't even have a choice, and he had to go defend our country and almost didn't make it home. you know? So
Yeah,
there's a,
that's a tough thing. I
yeah. And you
appreciate
know,
everybody that's ever done it.
a lot of the people didn't make it home. It's like,
No.
war is a terrible thing, and we need to understand that as a collective and get past that. And I think that's where a lot of people are rah-ing about it. But you can't ever disrespect a vet. I mean, we don't want war, but people who have been to war, they need to be respected for that.
Listen, anyone who straps on a weapon
To defend a
to
person.
defend
Yeah.
a country or to defend the people or to protect us, we need them. I mean, I can't, you know, I'm partly disabled. I can't do it anymore. But at the time, sure, because you've got a sense of purpose that other people can't fill, just like a police officer has a calling or the fire department has a calling. So anyway, we'll talk about it on Monday night. The point is that there's so much ignorance, and I don't mean that to be mean.
Right.
I mean legitimate lack of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge.
That would prevent you or be a roadblock to your ability to think of higher path, you know, take a higher path, take the higher road, think differently about people. You know, it's just a lack of knowledge. And so we want to kind of shed some light on some stuff and help bring people's awareness up. After all, it's their Christmas gift. It's you know, they get overlooked every day of the year. So let's honor them during the Christmas season. That's what I say.
Absolutely.
So.
Yep.
Even more so because they are soul dyers.
They are. Yes, they are.
Ah, good way to put that, Steve. You broke that word down.
Yep.
Yeah. That's why we have mourning.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. I agree. Well, with all of that, I suppose it's getting late. I got to work tomorrow. Thank you all for coming. And as we always do, you know, love you all. Be the frequency you want to receive. Thank you for coming.
Much love, y'all.
Love you all.
Merry Christmas.
Love you all. Merry Christmas.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Bye, Mason. Merry Christmas, Mason.
You lucky dog, you giant.
Thank you, Robert.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Love you too.
And there we go. All good.
Love you all in the chat. We'll see you guys soon.
Thank you all for